Welcome to tonight's exciting presentation of Bedford Varsity Football, brought to you by Kicking Mules Productions and the Studer Select team of Danbury Realtors. We'll be back in just a moment with tonight's pregame show. You're watching Bedford Varsity Football.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back to tonight's pregame show presented by Kicking Mules Productions and the Studer Select team of Danbury Realtors. Let's head down to the booth for in-depth analysis and insight into tonight's exciting Bedford football matchup.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Bedford Community Stadium in Groganstown Field for tonight's SEC Red Division home opener between the Bedford Kicking Mules and the Ypsilanti Community Grizzlies. My name is Dustin Kress, and Dan Roth is here with me again tonight. And Dan, last week Bedford with the impressive 41-0 victory over the Melvindale Academy of Business and Technology. And one of the things that I think that Bedford probably had to contend with this week was not getting overly confident after the game a week ago.
Yeah, you look at the game last week, you do have some variables there that would make it hard to get too overconfident. You were talking about a team that did not have a win in quite some time here, a team with a very small roster. So it's not like, beating Goliath here. This was a possum stomping that we saw last week. So I doubt that went too much to the heads of the teams, but it can leave you a little bit overconfident, just a skosh, especially given how well they beat the team. Really, Bedford had a great showing last week. One turnover, a fumble early on, but other than that, by and large, running on all 8 cylinders the entire game, really getting a lot of players, a lot of playing time, rotated through the 3 quarterbacks, see who could be that leading candidate on the field. So we'll see how that all plays out this week. We'll see what they do as far as the quarterback situation, what players are going to be dealing with, mostly given the handoffs, all that fun stuff. So this should be an interesting game tonight.
My guess is that you will see 2 quarterbacks at least tonight, because I think that they have not completely made the decision between Brady Henderson and Luke Carver as to who the starter is going to be, and they may not make the decision. They might both play because they both bring different strengths to the game, and obviously, when you've got 2 talented athletes like that can be playmakers for you, you want to get them both on the field.
Yeah, Luke Carver definitely seemed like that standard issue, really getting things done. And then, you look at Brady Henderson, when he was out on the field, he was trying to make those big plays happen. So you want those big plays, they may go with Henderson, but, kind of that day-to-day operations, keeping things steady, they could look at Luke Carver.
Bedford tonight, going to be very interesting also to see how the defense plays. The defensive line was very strong against Melvindale Academy of Business and Technology. Their quarterback, poor guy, didn't have a chance to throw the ball all night long. Bedford's defense was in the backfield pretty much from the get-go. So it'll be interesting tonight to see how the defensive line performs against a more talented Ypsilanti community team.
Yeah, looking at last week, Melvindale really did not provide any resistance at the offensive line. Even a 3-step drop wasn't happening because that Bedford defensive back was just getting in there, sending those linebackers, even the defensive line, easily getting through as if that line was just Swiss cheese. So it's going to be a little bit different here. Watching these teams warm up, it looks like it's the community, a little bit more of that passing team. If that offensive line can hold that defense, the defensive back, they're really going to have to step up their game. Bedford doesn't do necessarily traditionally that great with teams that are great on throwing, so it could be an interesting game. That defensive line, those linebackers, they need to be able to put pressure on the quarterback, cause him to make a few mistakes. This is week 2, so teams are still working out some bugs.
So Ypsilanti Community comes in with an 0-1 record. Their first game was against Saline, which, that's never an easy task. Bedford obviously hasn't beaten Saline in 6 years. So, we know all about having trouble beating the Hornets. But way to say welcome to the Grizzlies to the SEC Red Division, making them play Saline and Bedford in 2 consecutive weeks. The Saline Hornets beat Ypsilanti Community last week by a final score of 33-7.
Yeah, Saline is a very strong team. They have been for quite some time. But this is a weird season, too. Let's not forget that. Things are not as normal. This is not business as usual. The athletes are wearing the masks, and probably some getting adjusted to that. But, you would hope that a team would get a little bit more than that against Saline. So that could be indicative of what we see tonight.
So the other thing we need to remind people about, even if you were with us last week, maybe you weren't with us last week, we do want to tell you that this is a 6-game regular season. We are not playing the normal 9-game regular season. Every team in the state will qualify for the playoffs, which means Bedford will make another playoff appearance this year. But 6 games on the regular season schedule. We had Melvindale Academy last week, Ypsilanti Community tonight. Those are 2 home games. Then we're going to go on the road for 2 weeks. Next week we'll be at Ann Arbor Skyline. And then the following week we'll be on the road at Saline before we come back home to close out the regular season against Monroe and Woodhaven to close out the 2020 regular season before Bedford finds out who they meet in the first week of the playoffs. But still a lot of goals on the line there. You can still win an SEC Red championship. You obviously want to position yourself to have a stronger draw in the playoffs if you possibly can. So a lot of things still ahead of Bedford, and they really have to play well, and it starts tonight if they can build some momentum towards the rest of the season. And, these next 2 weeks are going to prepare Bedford to take on Saline.
Exactly, and this is a situation, you can't look too far down the road. The most important game is your next game, and that for the Mules is the Grizzlies tonight. So they need to put some of that playoff thought behind them. They need to consider, the SEC, this is just a step towards winning the SEC, dominating in the SEC Red. So don't lose the forest for the trees, I suppose is the best way to put it. Stay focused on tonight and just get the win. That is Bedford's only mission tonight.
So Bedford lifetime against Ypsilanti Community is 2-0. Bedford never losing to Ypsilanti previously, and the most recent meeting between Bedford and the Grizzlies, although things have changed because Ypsilanti Community merged and they consolidated, and so it's not the same Ypsilanti High that we've played in the past, although it is still the same Ypsilanti High we've played in the past. So it's a little confusing. The last meeting between the Mules and the Grizzlies was back in 2014. Bedford won that game 21-14. We were actually there. That was up in Ypsilanti, so it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out tonight. Both teams taking the field as we get ready to kick off. Bedford in all red again tonight. Red helmets, red jerseys, red pants. And the Grizzlies come onto the field. I believe their helmets are black, white jerseys and gold pants, and they are ready to go. They certainly have more guys dressed than Melvindale did a week ago.
That's true, and that's going to be a key factor here. Melvindale last week really had to worry about conditioning. You had players running both sides of the ball all 4 quarters, and that wears on you as a team, especially as you get into that 3rd and 4th quarter. You're just running out of gas. So with a team as well staffed as we have here with Ypsilanti Community, it's going to be a different ballgame for the Mules going into the 3rd and 4th. With their veer offense, Bedford does try to wear teams down. It's going to be a little harder this week than it was last.
Let's take a 3-minute break for the national anthem. We'll be back with the kickoff of tonight's game. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Kicking Mules.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Food. It brings us together, inspires joy, and gives us life. But we can't forget that during this crisis, over 37 million people don't have access to nutritious food. That's 1 in 12 seniors and 1 in 7 children. In fact, millions of kids aren't able to receive a free or reduced price school lunch right now. The good thing is, we can all help. Learn how you can get involved at feedingamerica.org. When we help each other, we nourish ourselves, our families, and our communities.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Wait a second.
Do you know who I am?
Julia.
Hi. I just wanted to talk to you about what happened with those 2 girls in 8th grade.
Oh, yeah?
That one day at PE when they were yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much that helped me because I finally knew that I had somebody.
Here are AARP top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Bedford won the toss and elected to receive tonight's opening kickoff. Number 40, Gabe Downs, to kick off for Ypsilanti Community. Scoble goes back to return the kick for the Mules, and he'll watch that roll out of bounds. So Bedford will have excellent field position to start their first offensive series of tonight's football game as the Mule offense takes the field for the first time tonight. Bedford will be moving from right to left towards the towards the west end zone of Bedford Community Stadium. And I do know east and west. I just mixed them up there. And you're going to see Brady Henderson, I believe, come out to take the opening snap to quarterback tonight for the Mules. Yep. Number 12, Brady Henderson, the senior quarterback, will take the opening snaps tonight for the Bedford offense. 1st and 10 for the Mules at the 35, 12 minutes on the first quarter game clock here in Temperance. 2 receivers split to the near side of the formation for Henderson on first down. He'll take the snap, gives it off inside to Hullebarger, who gets out across the 40. Logan Hullebarger with the football on first down. He'll be brought down after a gain of 5 yards. Call it 2nd and 5 from the 40-yard line.
And that's something Ypsi's going to have to watch of this game. Basically, for those not familiar with Bedford's offense, it's really a shell game. You never have the ball help, sometimes way too late. We'll see how Ypsi handles that.
11:28 remaining here in the first quarter. No score, just underway. Henderson reaches under center on 2nd down and 5. He sends Caden Foster in motion, keeps it himself on the option. With a stiff arm, he'll get across midfield, and he'll be driven out of bounds in Ypsilanti territory. I'm marking down at the 44 of Ypsilanti Community moved the chains for a Bedford first down and a nice option run by Brady Henderson.
Yeah, and that's an example of that shell game. Faked the handoff, went out to his left side, had that option at his disposal, and ended up getting the first down. Ypsi spent way too long trying to figure out who had the ball.
1st and 10 Mules at the Ypsilanti 44, 11-12 remaining first quarter. Henderson goes under center for the Mules. He sends Bussell in motion, takes the snap, going to keep it himself again on the option. He'll be across the 35 to the 34. He's going to be very close, but I think they're going to mark him just short of the 34, so it's going to be second and less than a yard. Second and short for the Mules. 10:53 remaining first quarter. Bedford moving from right to left towards the left end zone and the scoreboard here at Groganstown Field. Those of you who weren't with us last week, the center is spotting the ball this year, so the officials are not touching the football. Henderson goes under center on second down. He sends Caden Foster in motion, takes the snap, pitches to Foster. Foster looks for the corner, not going to get it. He's going to be brought down after a loss of a yard or two. Taylor comes away with the tackle. That's a big kid for Ypsilanti, and a nice-looking tackle there. Number 10, Chris Taylor, the 6'2", 180-pound senior. It is 3rd and 3 from the 37. Certainly think this would be 4-down territory for the Mule offense. Joey Nagel split to the near side. They'll bring Bussell in motion. Henderson keeps it himself on the option, breaks free. Brady Henderson, nice move. He's at the 20. He's at the 15. He's at the 10 or maybe the 11-yard line. 26-yard gain on the play for Brady Henderson, who made a really nice move there, and it'll be first down and 10 for linebacker.
Yeah, that was a case there where Ypsi showed blitz. They had a linebacker come up on the line, and Bedford acknowledged it, spotted it, and addressed it properly, getting that big gain.
Clock rolls under 9.5 minutes before we take this next snap. 1st and 10 from the 11 for Bedford. Mules knocking on the door here on their opening series of tonight's football game with Brady Henderson driving the car. He'll reach under center on first down. Sends Bussell in motion, takes the snap, gives it off inside the Hollebarger, who's into the house for the Bedford touchdown. Touchdown, Bedford, touchdown. Logan Hollebarger, a little extracurricular activity, and there is a flag now that came out as Hollebarger crossed the plane into the end zone. Wait and see. I saw Hollebarger swing his arm back out. So let's check to see what this penalty is and who it's going to be on.
Yeah, those flags are down in the end zone. They did come out after the play seemed to be done here. So I'm guessing some sort of unsportsman. It looks like somebody from Ypsi may have hung on to Hollebarger too long. And we do have a personal foul here.
Face mask, yep, against Ypsilanti. And they'll probably enforce that on the kickoff, maybe?
Yep.
So Deegan Garcia, number 42, comes on to attempt the extra point. Henderson to hold, the Sala to snap it back. 9:17 remaining here in the first quarter. Bedford leads 6-0 with the extra point pending. Snap it. And no good. With 9:17 remaining here in the first quarter, your score, Bedford 6, Ypsilanti Community nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Bedford Kicking Mules.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Today I'm gonna tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
Welcome back to Groganstown Field at Bedford Community Stadium as Deegan Garcia gets ready to kick the ball back to Ypsilanti Community. He's going to kick off from the Ypsilanti Community 45-yard line. Number 4, Sir David Williams, and number 10, Chris Taylor, go back to return this kick for the Grizzlies. Deegan Garcia puts a foot into it. He's going to kick that one out of the back of the end zone for a touchback, and the Grizzlies will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, that penalty from the touchdown play was enforced at the kickoff there. That is why Bedford had such position there. And it's one of those things, I never really was a huge fan of that because typically in that situation, you're going to have the touchback. Benefit is they don't get to return it. Downside is it's a little bit harder to pin them deep.
So 9:17 remaining here in the opening quarter. Bedford leads 6-0 after the missed extra point. And the Grizzlies will take over on offense for the first time tonight, going from left to right towards the east end zone of Bedford Community Stadium. Looks like Chris Taylor is going to be the quarterback for the Grizzlies. He's going to have a running back off his right hip and 2 receivers to the near side, 1 up top on 1st and 10. He'll take the snap, going to run the draw, and he gets buried in the backfield there. And the tackle for Bedford looks like the first man up from the bottom of the pile, number 30, Connor Becker, with the tackle for the Mules. The penalty looks like it's going to be against the Grizzlies. And let's see if Phillips takes the penalty or the play. Oh, he doesn't have the option. It is going to be 1st and 15.
Yeah, it was a false start call, and normally they whistle it dead on a false start there, so I'm not sure why they let the play continue, but it is what it is.
So Taylor takes a snap, going to keep it himself, going to run it himself again, and he again doesn't get a whole lot. He might have gotten up to about the 18-yard line. We'll call that a gain of 3. And we're going to call this about 2nd and 12. 8:43 remaining here in the first quarter. Bedford 6, Ypsilanti nothing. Grizzlies with the football, 2nd, and we'll call this 11 now from the 19-yard line. That looked like a pretty generous spot. 2 receivers come to the bottom of the formation, 1 up top for Chris Taylor with a running back off his left, tipped on 2nd down. He drops the pass. Pressure comes. He's going to hit Barry in the backfield. He's sacked. Nice play there. Joel Rand, the first man up from the bottom of the pile there, and it is 3rd and a long day's drive here for the Ypsilanti Grizzlies. Called this 3rd and 20 from the 10-yard line. 7:57 to play here in the first quarter. Bedford 6, Ypsilanti nothing. Can the Mule defense get Ypsilanti's O off the field on their first drive?
And this is, I hate to jinx it, but this is starting to look like last week. We didn't get final stats from that game, but we did question if Melvindale even had any positive yards, and so far, Ypsi's just going the wrong way.
Taylor, low snap. He's going to have to run away. He's going to break free to the initial line of scrimmage. He gets up to about the 15. He'll gain about 5 yards, but it's still going to be 4th down and 15 for the Grizzlies. Kuzno on the tackle for the Mules. Tyler Kuzno, number 16, with the tackle for Bedford. Chase Singley goes back to return this punt, and I have to apologize to Chase. I gave credit for the touchdown, the first touchdown last week, to Caden Foster, and it was not Caden Foster. It was Chase Singley who returned that punt for the touchdown last Friday night, so I wanted to correct myself on the air tonight as Chase stands at his 50-yard line to return this punt, and there is a flag down, and I think this is delay, maybe?
It's either that or false start. I know what I saw.
Counting players.
Huh?
Counting people. The head official was counting was counting players. And yep. So too many men on the field for Ypsilanti. They had 12 out there. as the guilty party goes over to the sideline, and just like that, head coach Dan Brown for the Ypsilanti Grizzlies calls his first timeout tonight. And
this has a lot of tones of last week.
Well, let's not get overly cocky.
Right.
It started out Bedford's way for sure.
It did. You've got Ypsi going the wrong way. They've now Ypsi's burned a timeout, and really that situation there, too many men on the field. That's the sort of thing you need to sort out at training camp. You should not be having those sorts of.
And certainly in week one, you do see some things like that. But with it being week two, you would think maybe those kinds of operational penalties. Maybe you've kind of got those things figured out. But Case Singley now going to go back to field this punt, and they're going to be punting from the end zone here. The punter, number 40 for Ypsilanti, Gabe Downs, stands about 2 yards in his own end zone with 6:43 to play here in the first quarter as Singley stands at his own, at the Ypsilanti 46 to return this punt. Downs gets the snap. Puts a foot into it. Bedford almost blocked that. Not a great punt. Bedford is going to have a really good field position at the 36-yard line, and it'll be Bedford football.
Again, knock on wood, but this is looking a lot like last week. Bedford had great field position pretty much every time they got the ball. Going to be starting this drive in Ypsi territory, and if the Mules can just keep firing on all 8 cylinders, I'm telling you, we could have a rerun of last week. Ypsi needs to be careful and get focused here. 6:36 remaining here in the opening quarter. Bedford 6, Ypsilanti Community nothing. Bedford with the football, 1st and 10 at the Ypsilanti 36. Henderson continues at quarterback for the Mules. One receiver each way. Hollenbarger behind Henderson on 1st down and 10. They'll send Caden Foster in motion. He takes the snap, gives it off inside to Hollenbarger. Hollenbarger gets decent yardage up across the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28. It's going to be 2nd down. We're going to call that a gain of 7. Yeah, it looks like they're spotting the 29.
2nd and 3 for Bedford at the 28-yard line. 6:11 to play here in the first quarter. Bedford 6, Ypsilanti Community nothing.
You know, one difference I'm noticing this week, we mentioned that the officials aren't touching the football. This week they're putting a marker down on where the center needs to put the ball instead of having their foot there.
Henderson reaches under center on 2nd down and 3. He'll send Foster in motion again. They take the snap. He keeps it himself on the option. Brady Henderson, nice move again. He's at the 10. He's going to be brought down. No, he's not either. He's still on his feet down to about the 2. Yep. Lewis brings him down at the 2-yard line. But one thing these defenses are going to have to learn pretty fast is you can't arm tackle Brady Henderson.
You can't, and not only that, I talked about the shell game that this offense tends to run, but really what makes this offense work for Bedford is they throw some great blocks. There could have been something completely different happen there. A couple great blocks, though, really gave the avenue there.
So 1st and goal for the Mules at the 2-yard line. 5:24 to play first quarter. The Mules knocking on the door again. Henderson sends Foster in motion, takes the snap, gives it off inside to Hollenbarger. He's in for the Bedford score. From 2 yards out, Logan Hollenbarger puts the scoreboard for the Mules, and it is 12-0 with the extra point pending.
Yeah, 5:16 left here in the first quarter. Bedford's offense normally is a very slow offense, but they've been getting a lot of 10-plus plays here this week.
Well, they're also getting excellent field position.
That doesn't hurt either.
Give them a short field.
That doesn't hurt either.
Deegan Garcia on to attempt the extra point. Henderson to hold and Nasala to snap it back. They put the snap down. The kick is up, and this time it's good. And with 5:16 remaining in the first quarter, your score Bedford 13. Ypsilanti Community nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Bedford Kicking Mules.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to Grogan's Field at Bedford Community Stadium as the Bedford Kicking Mules kick back to Ypsilanti Community. And Hullebarger brings Taylor down after the squib kick by Deegan Garcia. And it'll be first down and 10 for Ypsilanti Community at their own 28-yard line. I had to wait and drop the orange marker.
It looked like it was going to be the 28, but then he seemed to hesitate for a second, and hence the delay. Dustin does know the yard lines.
5:09 remaining here in the first quarter. Bedford 13, Ypsilanti Community nothing. Two receivers to the near side of the formation, one up top for Chris Taylor on first down. He'll take the snap and hand it off to his big running back there, number 12, Charles Atticus Carradine. I'm sorry, Carradine is the quarterback there. My fault.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been number 17, Jaden Vivier, who ended up getting that nice little 4-yard pickup for Ypsi.
Okay, so 4-yard gain on that play makes it second down and 6 from the 32. Two receivers to the top side of the formation, one to the near side on second down and 6. As Carradine gets ready to take the snap. That's Taylor again, and he is wrapped up and brought down there by number 43 for Bedford, Gabe Johnson with the sack. Should be a loss of a yard. This will be third down and 7. Third and 7 from the 31 for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and Bedford showed blitz on that. There was a little bit of a losing of traction here on the near side of the field, but enough players were able to execute on that and get the sack.
Down and 7 from the 31. 3:54 to play here in the first quarter. Bedford leads 13-0. Ypsilanti in the huddle, taking their time here. And they'll break the huddle. They'll send two receivers to the top side of the formation, one receiver to the near side here on third down and 8 from the 31. Taylor stays in at quarterback. He's dropped a pass, short drop, pass in the air, intercepted mid-block. Oh, my goodness. Kyle Scoble almost came away with a huge interception, but now the Grizzlies will have to punt that ball away. And,
had it in his hands, but just coming down and hitting the ground. He had to reach for it. It wasn't like right in the breadbasket. Got it in the hands, though, just couldn't maintain control as he came in contact with the ground.
Chase Singley goes back to return the punt. He'll stand at his own 40-yard line. He'll tiptoe back towards the 35 as number 40, Gabe Downs, comes on to punt the ball away for Ypsilanti Community. So 2 3-and-outs for Ypsi High. As Downs puts a foot into this one, and another short punt. This is going to roll out of bounds. And Bedford's going to have great field position again, this time on their own side of the field, but at the 42-yard line. And Bedford takes over first and 10 at their own 42 with 3:23 to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, looking at these two drives Ypsi had, they need to come up with an answer for that Bedford defensive line and those linebackers. Either the defensive line is breaking open or they're creating a hole for those linebackers to get in there and put pressure on the QB.
So Henderson stays in the game at quarterback for the Mules here. It'll be first and 10 for Bedford from the Mule 42 with 3:23 to play in the first quarter. Bedford leads 13-0. Thanks in part to both sides of the ball playing really well. One receiver goes each way for Henderson. Boycell goes in motion. They take the snap, give it off inside to Hullebarger, who's going to be brought down at about the 44. We'll call that the gain of 2. Makai Esther, the tackle for Ypsilanti Community, call it a gain of 2. Second and 8 from the 44 of Bedford. 3:04 to play here in the first quarter.
And I think Ypsi may be getting kind of hip to Bedford's offense here. They were a little quicker to swarm. They saw the handoff and were able to address it quickly.
Jack Nassau, the center, to snap it back to Henderson on second down. They'll send Caden Foster in motion. Henderson to throw. Intercepted by Taylor. And just a really nice play there by Taylor. Now he's on his feet, and he's on his way. 25-20, and he'll be brought down inside the 20-yard line there by number 22, Randy Boycell. And it'll be first down and 10 for Ypsilanti Community after a huge interception by number 10, Chris Taylor.
Yeah, last week Bedford didn't throw the ball at all. This is their first pass all season. Not the results you were looking for. You got to give credit, though. Henderson did have the line, perfect throw. It just didn't read that defense.
Taylor made a play.
Taylor just came up with it. Great throw, except for the defense.
No doubt. So first and 10 for Ypsi Community at the 16-yard line of Bedford after the interception return. 2:31 remaining here in the first quarter. The Grizzlies with their best opportunity here in the first quarter tonight. Their center going to snap it back to their quarterback, who is number 12, Charles Atticus Carradine. He'll have a running back off his right hip, two receivers to the top, one to the near side. He's going to take the snap, going to give it off inside to number 17, Jake Bevier, the running back there. He'll gain 3 yards, maybe 4.
Yeah, looks like they're getting a little generous spot, 4-yard gain there.
Going to call it the 12-yard line.
Not a bad pickup there. Running that offense, when you've got that shotgun, usually you expect pass there. But Ypsi, they've been running the shotgun pretty much all night and have really pretty much evenly divided their plays, if anything, favoring the run.
Williams and Willis, the receivers to the top side of the formation. They'll take the snap. Carradine going to keep it himself, and he'll be met and dropped at the 11-yard line there. Landon Johnson, 74 and 43, come away with a tackle for the Mules. We'll call it a gain of a yard. 3rd and 5 for the Grizzlies with 1:30 to go here in the first quarter. Bedford 13, Ypsilanti nothing. But the Grizzlies have the ball at the Bedford 11-yard line again after a huge interception return, put them in good shape offensively here. They'll send Williams and Willis to the top side of the formation on 3rd down and 5. Number 13, the other receiver, not on their roster, as Carradine takes the snap, drops the pass. Ball in the air, incomplete. I think they're going to say that was not catchable, as Cover provided the coverage there, but the ball was thrown well out of bounds anyway. It'll be incomplete, and that brings up 4th and 5, and they're going to send Downs on to kick this. It looks like they're going to try a field goal here.
Yeah, that was a risky play there by Luke Carver. If that ball had been catchable, the tackle case PI.
Oh, you definitely pushed off.
Hands on the receiver all day, not looking at the ball. I mean, that's an open case. A rookie lawyer could.
Although he may have seen that the ball wasn't catchable.
It's possible, but I don't know. That's risky. I wouldn't have risked it.
Carradine to hold, Downs to kick, and there is a flag down on this play, and it's going to be against Ypsilanti Community. They're going to say false start against the Grizzlies, so that's going to make this 4th and 10 from the 16. So that takes away the 5 yards they gained, and this makes this a little bit of a longer field goal attempt. Makes it about a 35-yard attempt here.
Yeah, it looked like Ashton Jensen there on the right side of the line there jumped a little bit early. At first I thought it might have been encroachment, but his movement brought the Bedford line off their side. So that is the guilty party, at least in my opinion. The officials don't call out who the guilty party is.
And I have to say, even if they hit this field goal, this is a huge defensive stop for Bedford.
Oh, definitely.
To give them the ball at the 16-yard line and come away with only a field goal if they connect here, that's huge. Downs to attempt. Snap is back. The kick is up. It is blocked. So no good, and Bedford holds. The defense stands tall for the Mules, and with 58 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, Bedford's defense bails the offense out on that one, and the Mule offense will take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and Coach Lutz for Bedford there down on the sideline to greet his special teams there, just so fired up. And, that's got to be really rewarding for that Bedford team there, not only to get the block, but really get that encouragement from the coaching staff.
58 seconds to play in the first quarter. Bedford 13, Ypsilanti Community nothing. Mules with the football, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Nasala, the center, walks the ball to the line of scrimmage.
He trotted.
Caden Weaver, the receiver to the near side of the formation for Bedford. Foster, Bussell, and Hullbarger, the backs behind Brady Henderson. Foster goes in motion across the formation. He'll take the snap, going to give it off inside to Hullbarger. Not much going on there for Logan on first down. No gain on the play.
Yeah, maybe a loss of 1 there based on the angle from up here. I could be wrong, though.
The left tackle, 81, Brandon Logwood, community, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. Singley checks into the ball game for the Mules. 2nd and 10 for Bedford, 24 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Henderson, the quarterback. 1 receiver each way, Singley to the top side of the formation. 21, Caden Weaver to the near side. He'll take the snap, going to hand it off inside again. And not much going on there. He might have gotten a yard, did Hullbarger. Marcus Wright on the tackle for Ypsilanti. And just like that, folks, we've played 12 minutes temperance at the end of the first quarter. Your score, Bedford 13, Ypsilanti Community nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Bedford Kicking Mules.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
150 over 90.
180 over 1.
Welcome back to Bedford Community Stadium. Bedford going for it on 4th down. Pass incomplete as Henderson gets roughed up in the backfield. Nothing illegal, though.
Yeah,
Ypsi just made a good play.
Yeah, just getting under pressure, really hard to deal with in that situation there. Bedford doesn't have a lot of experience dealing with that sort of situation, scrambling in the backfield, looking to pass it. Saw the receiver. Receiver was open. Just momentum of the receiver was going towards the sideline. The ball was more midfield.
Definitely sputtering a little bit offensively the last 2 series. Kind of interesting they decided to go for it there. But as it stands, it is 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies at the 26 of Bedford with 11:09 to play here in the first half. Bedford leads 13-0. Carradine, I believe the quarterback there. Nope, sorry. Again, that's they switch him out again. That's Chris Taylor. Motional receiver across the formation as Taylor runs it. He breaks free from 1 tackle. He's going to be brought down at about the 20-yard line. We'll call that a gain of about 6. And it'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Grizzlies from the 20-yard line. 2nd and 4 for the Grizzlies. 10:50 to go here in the first half. Bedford 13, Ypsilanti Community nothing. As the Grizzlies huddle up and talk about it here on second down.
Yeah, going back to Bedford's offensive drive, it does seem like Ypsi has really gotten their number on this situation here. Bedford's going to have to kind of open up the playbook a little bit, I believe.
2 receivers to the top side of the formation, 1 to the near side for Chris Taylor on second down and 4 from the Bedford 20. He'll take the snap. He'll drop the pass. That time it's complete to number 4, Sir David Williams, and he is dancing around. He'll be spun down out of bounds, and not before he gets inside the 10-yard line. There is an injured player on the field for Ypsilanti, and that is number 10, Chris Taylor, the quarterback. I don't know if he's hurt or if he just came out of a shoe or he's throwing up.
Yeah, this is one of those situations. We talked about the masks and what the players have to deal with there on the field, and I do have to wonder if that's a factor here right now.
So that's not a good sign for the Grizzlies as Caroline brings his quarterback out a bottle of water here, I believe, and, just got a little overheated. Hopefully that's all it is. Certainly don't want to see anything bad happen as he now comes off the field under his own power. So that's number 10, Chris Taylor. And Taylor's made a couple of great plays tonight, including that interception. Heck of an athlete for Ypsilanti Community. You hate to see him come off the field, but you're an Ypsilanti fan.
Yeah, senior 6'2", 180 there for Ypsilanti. Really just kind of a standout player for them. Great pass there to Williams. Williams really showed maturity, too, on that pass play. He took his time. He saw the person that was trying to tackle him, made Bedford make the first move, and was able to pick up a few extra yards by doing so.
So it is 1st and goal for the Grizzlies. 1st and goal for Ypsi High at the 7-yard line of Bedford. 10:07 to play here in the first half. Bedford leads 13-0, but the Grizzlies knocking at the door. Caroline comes back in at quarterback, and he'll take the snap. Going to hand it off to number 17, who looks for the edge. He gets down to about the 5, I think. Yep, call that a gain of 2 for number 17, Bevier. Chase Singley gets the tackle for the Mules. 2nd down and goal from the 5. 9:40 to play, first half. Bedford 13, Ypsilanti Community nothing. Ball at the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal. Caroline, a running back off each hip, 1 receiver each way on 2nd and goal. Takes the snap, high snap, going to have to try to run away. He does temporarily, can't get the corner though, and is shoved out of bounds. He might have gotten a yard. Nope, they're going to mark him back out at the 5-yard line. So no gain on the play for Caroline. 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal for the Grizzlies. 9:14 to play here in the first half. Can Bedford's defense hold again?
It's possible. Bedford's shown that defense can be very strong, but Ypsi's making good progress right now. That play there, I think it was just that high snap threw him off, and the play kind of broke up at that point. So that might have just been a fluke. They can't count on that every time.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 up top for Caroline with a running back off each hip on 3rd and goal. Better snap this time, drops the pass. Pass picked off. There is a flag on this play. Intercepted, I think, by Brady Henderson. And there is a flag down here. Let's check this penalty marker to see what happened. But Henderson picked him off. And again, Bedford's defense holds, especially if this penalty is against Ypsilanti, and it looks like it might be.
I don't know. It looks like the defense may be coming back out on the field.
No. He's talking to Phillips. This penalty is against Ypsi, so it's an illegal shift. Yep, an illegal shift penalty against the Grizzlies. They're going to decline that. It's going to be Bedford football after the interception. So the story of the first half tonight has been Bedford's defense.
Yeah, I mean, coming up big there again, dealing with a situation where you've got your back against the wall, Ypsi in striking distance, and just coming up with a big stop there. Thing is, though, you can't count on that every time when you're kind of in that goal range. Bedford needs to hold them a little deeper, and then they also need to get their offense going. Bedford's starting this drive from their own 3-yard line.
Yep. So 1st and 10 for Bedford from their own 3-yard line. 9:09 to play here in the first half. Bedford with a 13-0 lead as the Mules take this snap from the shadow of their own goal line.
And keep in mind, these last few drives Bedford had, they had a couple 1- or 2-yard loss plays here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ypsi bring the house and go for 2.
So Henderson still in the game at quarterback for Bedford. One receiver comes to the near side of the formation. That's Josh Zeller. He'll send a receiver to the top side as Henderson reaches under center on 1st down and 10. Brings the man in motion, takes the snap, going to pitch it. As Caden Foster gets out across the 9, maybe the 10-yard line. Decent gain of 7 yards. We'll call this 2nd and 3, and really you can't ask for much better than that on 1st down when you're backed up against your own end zone.
Yeah, exactly. When you've got that shadow looming over you, you really need to be able to get away, get some distance now. That's going to give this offense a little bit more options that they can work with here on this next play.
So 2nd down and 3 from the 10 for Bedford. 8:36 to go here in the first half. Mules lead 13-0. Weaver to the top side of the formation. Joey Nagels with the near side on 2nd down. They'll take the snap. He fumbled it. Fumbled the exchange, and Ypsilanti comes away with this. And it's going to be 1st and goal for Ypsilanti.
73. Yeah, number 73, not on our roster here, coming up with the fumble recovery there. And, you thought Bedford was going to get something going there, finally got a nice gain on a play, but then drops the ball the next.
How many chances can you give Ypsilanti in the red zone before they come away with some points here?
We're gonna find out. It's like, how many looks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
So it's 1st and goal from the 9 for Ypsilanti after the fumble gives the Grizzlies the ball back in excellent field position.
Yeah, you can't ask for better when you're an offense. Starting your drive, your offense has had a little time to rest, even if it is just a couple plays, and now you're starting your drive from your opposition's 9.
So Taylor comes back in at quarterback, one running back off each hip, one receiver each way. He takes the snap, gives it off inside to Bevier, who's going to break one tackle but not another, and he's going to get back to maybe the line of scrimmage, and that's about all.
Oh, it looks like they may be giving them generous positioning, maybe arguing forward progress. It looks like the one official's marked, at the 9.
Yep, so no gain on the play. 2nd and goal from the 9 as we roll under 8 minutes remaining here in the first half. Bedford 13, Ypsilanti nothing. Taylor stays in a quarterback for the Grizzlies. He's going to have a running back off each hip and one receiver to each side of the formation. Sir David Williams to the near side. To the top side is Fred Willis. He'll take the snap, going to keep it himself as he tries to run and get the corner. Taylor still on his feet. His helmet comes off there, and he's going to have a positive gain there to about maybe the 6. Call that a gain of about 3, I believe. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. 7:29 to play before halftime. And I believe that they just called timeout because otherwise Chris Taylor had to come out for a play.
Yeah, just for those wondering how that works out, if you lose a piece of equipment, if you have a quote-unquote injury that delays the game, you have to sit out a play unless a timeout is used. Given this situation now, 3rd and goal, given how you're down 2 touchdowns, you're going to want to make sure you have your best players on the field. And quite frankly, Chris Taylor has been the star of Ypsi. You don't want to do this play without him.
So it is going to be 3rd and goal for the Grizzlies. And Bedford's defense, man, has just been ready, willing, and able to handle anything thrown their way so far. But can they hold on again?
Like I said, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? If Mr. Owl's here, this is the one. So you've given them way too many chances. You can't expect your D to stop them in a goal line situation every time.
I'm telling you, offensive coordinator Chris Wilhelm needs to buy Coach O'Brien's dinner tonight.
Something like that. A really nice Christmas gift might be in order after this.
So 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line. 7:29 to play before halftime. Carradine now in at quarterback. He'll have Bevier off his left hip and 2 receivers to the near side, 1 up top on 3rd and goal. Takes the snap, high snap, going to hand it off inside. Nope. He faked the handoff, and then he got buried by a herd of mules, and it is going to be 4th and goal. Bedford's defensive line just packed their lunch today.
Gold star so far today by that defensive line, shutting them down, reading that fake handoff, and getting the stop. That's just beautiful. You could not have asked better for Bedford on that play. I mean, you could, but you'd be reaching.
So Gabe Downs comes on to attempt this field goal. No gain on that last play. 4th and goal from the 6, which makes this about,
we'll call it a 23-yard.
About a 23, 24-yard field goal attempt with 6:40 to play here in the opening half. And the kick is up, and it's good. With 6:34 remaining in the first half, your score, Bedford 13, Ypsilanti Community 3. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Bedford Kicking Mules.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Gabe Downs puts a foot into this. It'll be a touchback as Scoble watches it cross the goal line, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Bedford at their own 20-yard line.
And, the story so far this half really has been Bedford's defense. Ypsi getting into the red zone 3 times now. First time, blocked kick. Second time, interception. And then the third time, forcing the field goal when they had the ball at their own 9. So, as we said, in the last segment there, somebody owes somebody a nice dinner.
Kind of interesting that they've stayed with Henderson all the way here in the first half at quarterback. Even though we've sputtered the last couple offensive series, let's see what Brady draws up here on 1st down and 10. One receiver to the top side of the formation, takes the snap, gives it off inside to Hullebarger, and he'll be out across the 20 to the 24. We'll call that a gain of 4. After the gain of 4, Esther with the tackle for the Grizzlies. 6:19 to play before halftime. Bedford 13, Ypsilanti Community 3.
And that's the kind of production you were seeing here. But, as you were saying, with Henderson staying in at quarterback, we may have learned the situation with the quarterback for Bedford. Sticking with Henderson, we'll see if that stays true throughout this game.
One receiver goes to the top side of the formation for Henderson on 2nd down and 6. He'll take the snap, going to give it off inside to Hullebarger, who makes a nifty little move there, but he just had no more real estate as he crosses the 25 and gets to about the 28-yard line. We're going to call this 3rd and 2.
And for 2 plays straight now, Ashton Jensen for Ypsilanti is coming in from the blitz from the right side. Bedford seems to be seeing that and picking it up well, which is allowing for these little gains here.
So 3rd and 2 from the 28, 5:29 to play before halftime. Mules lead 13-3. Jack Nasala, the center, spots the ball at the 28 of Bedford on 3rd down. One receiver goes up top for Brady Henderson on 3rd down. They'll send Caden Foster in motion. He'll take the snap, going to keep it himself. Going to be very close. I believe he's got the 1st down across the 30. Henderson does. He got to the 31. Called a gain of 3. Move the chains for a Bedford 1st down, and a good read there to get the needed yardage for Brady Henderson.
And again, Jensen blitzing from the right side here. Bedford acknowledging it. And really, that's opening up a hole down the left side here. Bedford sees that and is taking advantage of it. Great job reading the defense.
5 minutes to go before halftime. Mules lead 13-3. Bedford with the football. 1st and 10 at their own 31.
And let's see if Jensen signals blitz here again.
Joey Nagel, the receiver to the near side of the formation for the Mules here on 1st and 10.
And he does.
Purcell goes in motion. Henderson takes the snap, going to hand it off inside again to Hullebarger, who gets up to about the 34.
33. I'm seeing one official on the 33, one on the 34.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not on the same wavelength here. One's at the 33 and one's at the 34. Looks like they're marking it at the 34. That's where they've spotted this football. And it'll be second down. Second and about 7 here with 4:11 to play before halftime. Henderson reaches under center, takes the snap, going to pitch. Foster on the carry, gets spun out of bounds as he crosses the 35, maybe the 36-yard line, maybe the 37, depending on the spot here.
Yeah, the near field official is kind of signaling the 36.5.
And the marker goes down at the 36. So 3rd down and 4. 3rd and 5. Now they're saying it's at the 37. So 3rd and 5 from the 37, 3:37 to play before halftime. The Mules lead 13-3. One receiver goes each way for Brady Henderson on 3rd down. Hullebarger, the fullback behind him. They'll send Caden Foster in motion. Henderson takes the snap. Hullebarger met and dropped. Very interesting play call on 3rd down.
Well, Ypsilanti has adjusted their defense. They saw Bedford is having a lot of success up the left side here. They evened things out a little bit more. They weren't putting as much pressure there on the right side, and that was the difference there.
So Bedford's going to punt. This is the first punt of the season for Bedford. Hullebarger goes back to punt for the Mules. 4th down, high snap. Logan puts a foot into it, and boy, does he ever. Great punt for Hullebarger. Now it's going to take a bit of a roll for Ypsilanti, and it'll be down at the 32-yard line, and that's where the Grizzlies take over 1st and 10 with 2:36 to play before halftime. And, boy, the Bedford offense, the first 2 drives were just lights out, and since then it's been Stall City.
Yeah, I have to wonder if Ipsy did watch a lot of game film. And this is one of those things. You kind of have to see it and be in it to understand it. It's hard to understand Bedford's offense and address it just from watching game film, but now they've lived it, and they've started making those adjustments, really lining up on that offensive line, meeting lineman for lineman, really shutting down those holes that Bedford usually tries to leverage. If you just shut down the line, you don't have to worry about who has the ball if they come up the middle.
Thankfully for Bedford, the defense has been lights out for the Mules too.
Yep, that's been the saving grace.
1st and 10 from the 32 for Ypsilanti. Chris Taylor at quarterback. He'll send Sir David Williams in motion, takes the snap, going to flip it to Williams. That's a backward pass, and I think this is going to be advanced. It's a fumble, and it's a touchdown for Bedford. Touchdown, Bedford Kicking Mules on the fumble recovery. That ball was thrown backwards.
That's just bad play execution by Ypsilanti. Taylor threw it to a receiver behind him, which was not caught, which is a fumble in this situation here, not a forward pass.
Was that Scoble with the touchdown?
I believe so. We were kind of all wrapped up in the excitement.
We're going to say it was Scoble or Johnson. I'm going to give it to one or the other.
We'll correct ourselves later on if we find out someone else.
Deegan Garcia on to attempt the extra point. So there's the way to grab the momentum back for your team. Get a defensive score.
Again, defense really the winner tonight.
Snap is back. The kick is up, and it is good with 2:27 remaining in the first half. Your score, Bedford 20, Ypsilanti Community 3. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Mules.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
So Kyle Scoble credited with that last touchdown for Bedford. Taylor going to return this kick for the Grizzlies, and not going to return it very far. It'll be 1st and 10 for Ypsilanti. They're going to stop this at the 22.
Yeah, good kick there from Bedford, bounced over a couple heads, and that really gave the Mules a nice amount of time to get downfield. Taylor really didn't have any options. By the time he got the ball, there was a pack of Mules around him.
Connor Lasky gets that last tackle for Bedford. It'll be 1st and 10 for Ypsilanti. 2:22 remaining in the first half. Bedford now leads 20-3.
And again, for those just joining us, really Bedford's defense has been the story of the game. 3 times in the red zone for Ypsi. They've only gotten a touchdown, and then a turnover just brought the Mules their last touchdown.
I think Carradine is back in at quarterback now for the Grizzlies. 2 receivers each way, 1 running back off his left hip, and they're going to hand it off inside. Jensen, the ball carrier for the Grizzlies, going to gain about, 3 yards?
Not even that. Looks like they're marking it about a yard and a half, maybe 2.
Joel Rand with the tackle for Bedford. 2:01 to play before halftime. 2nd and 9. We'll call it a gain of 1. Ball at the 24 of Ypsilanti. Mules lead 20-3. Jensen, the running back, off the left hip of Carradine. They'll send 4 receivers out. Ball in the air. Taylor dropped low. They're going to call that a catch, and he's still on his feet. So David Williams, guys, I don't know about that. I think that ball hit the ground.
It was close. It was close, and unfortunately, we don't have replay here. It's high school football. But basically, the intended receiver coughed it up, wasn't able to hold it, and then just a reception there right before the ball hit the ground. The Mules defense thought it was an incomplete, so they didn't react quickly enough, and that was a big pickup.
Big gainer for the Grizzlies. Ball at the 25 of Bedford with 1:34 to play before halftime. The clock rolls. 1 timeout remaining for Ypsilanti.
And that's their enemy right now.
2 receivers each way. Carradine takes the snap, going to hand it off to Jensen, who breaks free. He's still on his feet. Jensen still moving forward for Ypsilanti. Ashton Jensen brought down inside the 10. Luke Carver with the tackle for the Mules, but not before it becomes, guess what, 1st and goal for Ypsilanti. Again,
a similar storyline. We're very familiar with this one there, but Jensen just breaking tackle after tackle, which should have only been a 2-yard gain, ended up being a big pickup.
Carradine takes the high snap, going to give it off inside to Jensen again, and he's brought down at the 1. 55 seconds to play before halftime. Conrad gets the tackle for the Mules, but it is 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line, and it looks like Ypsilanti might finally punch one in here.
Yeah, you got to figure they thought Jensen should be able to finish the work he started here. As Ypsilanti calls a timeout here. 42 seconds on the clock, and they're now out of timeouts. And can the defense come up with another miracle?
So for any of our listeners out there, I feel like I need to tell you a little bit about some excellent coffee that's being brewed. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but my in-laws have sampled the coffee. And well, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law's in Connecticut and has been for about a month. But Dan Roth over here is roasting his own coffee, and you can find his website
at dangoodco.com and also at the Bedford Farmers Market.
So, Dan, I'm not a coffee drinker, so what's different about your coffee than, like, say, going in and buying some Folgers?
So, with, most of your grocery store coffee, you don't know when it was roasted or when it was ground. It could have been there for a month. And coffee, you want it when it's fresh. The coffee that we have is freshly roasted, is done locally, small batches with attention paid to the roast process. So what you're really getting is a very flavorful cup of coffee, and great for any brew method. I run it through an espresso machine, but I've used it in pour-overs. I know some people are using it in traditional filter machines, so plenty of coffees, options, and great stuff.
So 2nd down and goal from the 1 for Ypsilanti. Carradine takes the snap, gives it off inside to Jensen, who is in for the Ypsilanti touchdown. From 1 yard out, the Grizzlies finally get across the goal line. I feel like they've been in the red zone all night long.
Going back to the Mr. Owl analogy, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Turned out to be 4.
Turned out to be 4. Mr. Owl was off by 1 on this one.
Well, and the other side of that is, you've now had that Bedford defense on the field quite a bit in the first half and in some high-pressure situations. So, and Ashton Jensen came in and gave them a real jolt that they needed, and now number 40, Gabe Downs, comes on to attempt this extra point. Snap is back, the kick is up, and it's good. With 38 seconds remaining in the first half, your score, Bedford 20, Ypsilanti Community 10. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Bedford Kicking Mules.
Hey, Dad, I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
borders.
Dad,
that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
And Scoble returns the kickoff for Bedford out to about the 30-yard line, maybe the 29. Willis gets the tackle for Ypsilanti. So there are 32 seconds to play before halftime. The Mules with all 3 timeouts. How aggressive do you want to be here?
If I'm Coach Phillips, you don't have great field position. Your offense isn't a very fast one. It is methodical, takes time. I'd just go into the locker room. Don't try anything crazy.
The Mules with a 2-score lead here, 20-10. What you can't afford is a turnover return for a touchdown or a turnover here that sets them up in good field position, even though they don't have any timeouts left. Henderson under center takes the snap. Gonna drop the pass. Now he's gonna roll away from it. He gets free. Brady Henderson at the 40, at the 45, at the 50. He's on his feet. That's gonna be a flag. Yep. There's 2 flags over at midfield. Oh, that was an excellent play by Henderson, but I think this is coming back.
Oh, certainly there. And there was just a block of biblical proportion.
I think that was a crackback block.
I felt that up here. I'm in pain after watching that there. I didn't quite see who delivered it, but it has left the Ypsi player down on the sidelines. Just ouch. Ouch. That had to hurt.
Coach Phillips walks out, and I think he said he had something to say to the official, but the official just kind of waved him off and walked away.
Yeah, and going to what these penalties are there, we had a little bit of action in the backfield. It looked like maybe, looking at the pile there, as number 81, Logwood gets off the field for Ypsilanti. He was the one who just got his bell rung. But possibly a face mask in the backfield, and then you did have that block which brought out the flag there. We may have offsetting penalties, but let's see here as the official comes out.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little wishful here. Let's see.
Well, it's against Bedford, no doubt. An illegal crackback block against the Mules. It's going to be the 15 yards from the spot, which is still going to put the ball out at the 31-yard line. So a net gain of 2 yards there makes this, and they get the down back. So it's 1st and 8 for the Mules. 1st and 8.
19 seconds on the clock.
And I think that you are going to see maybe just a knee taken here. Maybe not. We'll see. Sends a man in motion. Certainly doesn't look like he's taking a knee. Here comes the run around the edge. This is Scoble, who's going to get pushed out of bounds here. 7 seconds to go as Bedford gets into Ypsilanti territory and picks up a first down at the 42. Definitely not the 30.
No, it looks more like
44.
44.
Correct that, the 44. 7 seconds left to go in the first half.
And, I mean, I guess this is where you line up in 5 wide and chuck one towards the goal line, but Bedford doesn't have that.
At this point, I mean, not much to lose.
One receiver each way for Brady Henderson on first down. He'll take the snap, drops the pass, keeps it himself, going to try to run it around the edge there. And he is going to be, oh, there's a flag. That's going to be a late hit. There's a flag in the backfield here, too. So let's check these penalty markers. Lots of laundry on the field as we end the first half tonight.
Or is it the end, though?
Well, they can't end on a penalty.
Right.
So there will be one more play, unless they're offsetting, in which case that might be the end of the half.
Yeah, I think there may have been a hold in the backfield, and that's what prompted the one in the backfield.
But the one over on the sideline is going to be a late hit.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking it might be offsetting.
Let's check and see what they have to say here. And there technically is no time left on the clock. But again, the half can't end on a penalty, so let's check and see what they're gonna come out of this zebra huddle talking about.
Inquiring minds want to know. This is just a weird play. You do have that late hit. It's just a question of what the one in the backfield's all about.
So Phillips talks to the side judge here, and somebody's walking back to pick up a flag. I think maybe.
No, it looks like he's marching off for some reason.
That's the back judge, maybe.
Yeah.
But he's still walking
way back. Which, again, at this point, he stepped back 15 from the flag and then turned around.
Yeah. Now he's going to come back and pick up his flag. Have a real hard time. No, he's not either.
No.
It's like commentary on the ref.
I kind of feel like National Geographic talking about what the zebras are doing. As we watch the judge still in the huddle talking to Ypsilanti's sideline here.
The flag on the sideline was a late hit out of bounds against the Grizzlies, I believe.
I mean, I don't know what else it could be.
Unless somebody said something over there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's possible.
Unless somebody said something sideways or, you never know.
Yeah, but that back judge is still pacing in the backfield.
So
going
still
down the road.
Still conferencing on the far sideline with head coach Dan Brown from Ypsilanti. And let's wait and see what they're going to do here. But we technically, again, still have no time left on the first half game clock. And both teams stand on the field and await the end of the conference. We've got that. Let's see what they're going to do now. Now they're going to march across the field and have the same conversation with John Phillips, I believe.
This is something I don't think I've ever seen it take it this long to get the laundry sorted here. I feel like I'm in college and just not getting the laundry sorted.
Let's be honest. You brought your laundry home.
Okay, yeah.
And your mom did it for you.
We don't need to bring that up. Now the back judge is picking up. Now he put down the ball marker.
Okay.
Here on National Geographic almost.
So Phillips is standing with his arms crossed, talking to the head official here.
I mean, this is like a conversation here. Like, it's not like, here's what happened.
You see what happened was.
Yeah.
And now that conference breaks up.
Here we are.
And that's the end of the first half.
Yep, holding. Declined.
Personal foul against Ypsilanti. Oh, he ejected somebody. Wow.
Oh, that's what happened there.
Both two personal fouls against Ypsilanti.
But offsetting with the hold in the backfield, and that will bring this half to a close.
Somebody got ejected there. They didn't tell. I mean, obviously, we don't get to hear who that was, but two players get personal foul flags against Ypsilanti. And, folks, we have reached the end of the first half. We've played 24 minutes in Temperance, and after the first half, your score, Bedford 20, Ypsilanti Community 10. We'll be back in 4 minutes. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Mules.
It's halftime. You know what that means. It's time to head over to our website, kickingmule.live, to check out our upcoming broadcast schedule. And when you're not out trying to score a touchdown, let Dustin Kress of the Steer Select team at Danbury Realtors help you score the home of your dreams. He's proud to be part of your home team. Give him a call at 419-705-8529. That's 419-705-8529. Or visit WeSellThe419.com. We'll be back with our halftime show after these messages. You're watching Bedford Varsity Football, presented by Kicking Mule Productions and the Steer Select team at Danbury Realtors.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
This is Jaina, into the future. Do you remember back when I was in 7th grade? Anything that I would do, she would make fun of me, she would laugh at me, she would talk to her friends and whisper. I grew up to be more independent and love myself and just be a little bit more confident.
Aw, I'm like a little tearing up right now.
Welcome to the Bedford Varsity Football Halftime Show presented by Kicking Mule Productions and the Studer Select team at Danbury Realtors. Let's head out to the press box for a recap of the first half and a preview of what's to come.
Welcome back to Groganstown Field at Bedford Community Stadium. We played a full half of football, and after two quarters, Bedford leads at 20-10. Bedford's offense was lights out to start the first quarter, scoring 13 unanswered, and then they kind of sputtered their way through the rest of the half. And defensively, though, the Mules have just shown up and have been ready, willing, and able to meet every challenge so far. And, you know, the Grizzlies have been in the red zone 4 times. They've come away with 10 points. And the first time they got the ball at the 6-yard line and Bedford held them. Then they got it at the 16. Bedford held them again. And then the last 2 times they got a field goal and a touchdown out of it. But goodness gracious, man, you give them the ball inside the 20 that many times, they're bound to come away with something.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where, let's be honest, the old cliche is true. Defense wins games and championships. And that is the reason Bedford is still in this situation where they have a 10-point lead. If that defense did not hold on those first 3 drives, you know, just giving away 3 points on that third one, that's 4 touchdowns at this point.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, you know, if you show me nothing else and you tell me the Ypsilanti opening starting position for each of their drives, you would think the Grizzlies would have an enormous lead going into the halftime, because Bedford has given them the ball pretty much all but maybe twice on Bedford's side of the field. So it's really been interesting to watch the defensive line from Bedford really just kind of have their way. And, Bedford got burned deep on this touchdown drive, or who knows what would happen there. And we want to add that the burn deep thing there, if it was replay, that play may have not been a thing, because I still think that ball might have touched the ground.
It was too close to be certain. From our position here, I could see it being either way. I mean, basically picking up the ball off his laces at best. So that deep pass really gave Ypsi great field position for that touchdown, and then Jensen really carrying it and punching it in for him. So, really, again, the defense has saved Bedford. If they did not stand up, if they did not block that field goal or even hold them to the field goal the first time they were in the red zone, get that interception the second time they were in the red zone, it would be, take away also that touchdown from the defense on the fumble. Without this defense, this would be a 13-28 game?
Yeah, no doubt. So the other thing I want to point out here, one score that I'm seeing here, I'll try to find the other SEC red scores, but with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Skyline leads Pioneer 16-7.
I'm okay with that.
Bedford plays Pioneer next week, so that's an interesting development. I'm sorry, Bedford plays Skyline next week. We're actually not playing Pioneer this year,
which is kind of weird if you ask me. Okay.
Yeah, Bedford. That was one of the games that got canceled that they're not going to reschedule. Here's another one. Saline leads Ann Arbor Huron 30-0 at halftime.
Not a shocker.
Yeah, no, definitely not a shocker there. Milan trailing Riverview 16-0 with 3:23 left in the half. Maybe one of the most important things, breaking news today, the Mid-American Conference going to play some football this fall.
Yeah.
So very excited to see my Rockets and your Broncos on the field this fall. They're going to play a 6-game conference schedule, and so we'll see if the Rockets and Broncos are facing off.
I mean, they usually do. It's going to be, as you said, a shortened season. But, it's football. Football's back. There was some talk that the MAC may play in the spring, but apparently that is not going to be the case.
I have to say, though, I think that the MAC playing in the spring actually would have been brilliant, because they would have been the only thing going on. Yeah. And, the television ratings alone probably would have just been outstanding, because, hey, it's football, and there's nobody else playing, so we're going to watch it.
Well, yeah, and you go back to, professional football before COVID struck. The XFL started their season right after the Super Bowl, and it was doing pretty well. I knew a lot of people following it because it was football. So, yeah, maybe if the MAC had tabled things until the spring, being able to get that exclusive football content Might have been great for them, could have been great exposure for the athletes, but, it's football season. And, this is the time of year, just like the leaves changing colors, the cool, crisp air, corn mazes, Halloween, football. That's fall in America.
Well, my South Carolina Gamecocks start their season tomorrow against the Volunteers from Tennessee. And Grayson, my son, is going to get his introduction to South Carolina football tomorrow.
And his introduction to you watching South Carolina football. I've been there for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, and that's the thing, as the teams are now back up on the field warming up, football, the beauty of it is very much an American thing. We are very passionate about it. And, I actually have this weird theory that, a lot of people say America's terrible at soccer. And the reason I say that is because of football. Because, any population, only a certain percentage of your population is going to be athletic. And we have American football, which is a big draw for athletes. Normally, this stadium is packed.
Yeah, no doubt.
And,
yep.
Again, it's part of fall in America. It's basically the state religion in Texas.
And basically every state south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Pretty much. So this is one of those things. Rona really did change a lot of our world, a lot of our culture this year. So to be able to have football, high school football, college football, professional football, we've got the whole weekend now is starting to get back to normal. And, at a time when people just want a distraction, we're all familiar with the restrictions and everything, unemployment and all that. So,
all right, let's take a break here, and we'll be back in 1 minute with the second half of tonight's game between Ypsilanti Community and Bedford. You're listening to Bedford Football on the home of the Kicking Mules.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back to Temperance, Michigan, as we get ready to kick off the second half of tonight's SEC Red home opener between the Ypsilanti Community High School Grizzlies and your Bedford Kicking Mules. The halftime score, Bedford 20, Ypsilanti 10. Dustin Quest, Dan Roth here with you, bringing you all the action tonight. Joe Kuchar back at mission control and making the mothership run tonight. So we want to thank him for that. As Bedford gets ready to kick the ball away to start the third quarter. And the big question here is, can Bedford's defense keep the momentum they had in the first half, and can the offense for Bedford find some more rhythm?
Well, that's two storylines, Dustin. Let's take it one at a time. This Mule defense definitely seems to have the number of Ypsi. However, looking at that last drive, Jensen just lowering the boomstick, pushing his way through the line, getting big pickups. We're going to ignore that kind of fluke play.
So here's the other storyline. That unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that got called against Ypsilanti to end the half, both of them are now going to be enforced on the kickoff. Bedford is going to kick off from the Ypsilanti 30-yard line.
Can they go for a field goal?
If there's no, but here's what I'm saying. If there's ever been a time to try an onside kick, this might be the one.
I mean, it's not every day you get granted this sort of situation. So if nothing else, again, like you were saying, let's say it doesn't pan it out. Yeah, let's say it doesn't pan out. If he gets the ball. Again, worst case scenario, unless they manage to break deep, you're still going to put him in good field position.
So who's kicking this ball away? Bedford's in a huddle. They're kicking off again. For those of you just joining us, they're kicking off from the 30-yard line of Ypsilanti as Ypsilanti gets ready to field this kick. And it is an onside kick attempt, and they're going to, almost recovered it. And like I said, that would have been just brilliant had Bedford been able to recover that. But as it stands, it'll be 1st and 10 for Ypsi inside the 10-yard line as Garcia almost recovered his own kick there. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 9-yard line of Ypsilanti. And a calculated risk there, but certainly one that almost paid off.
Yeah, Garcia just kicking it right down the middle of the field. And it was almost like Ypsilanti was a deer in headlights. They didn't move for the ball at all.
Throw the bullet down to 55 miles an hour and the deer come and find you.
And just really giving Garcia, he just couldn't hang on to the ball. Otherwise, he would have had it.
If he'd recovered that, he might have run it all the way in.
That would be something to see.
So Carradine in at quarterback. Snap is high. They're going to he just got buried in the backfield there by number 30, Connor Becker. And Becker just put Carradine in the ground. And
just open door, just like 7-Eleven, just walked right in. No resistance whatsoever, getting into the backfield, getting that sack. Again, the defense just really setting the tone here.
Calling it a loss of 4. 2nd and 14 from the 5-yard line. 11:20 remaining third quarter. Bedford 20, Ypsilanti Community 10. Carradine the quarterback. 2 receivers to the near side of the formation, 1 up top, and a running back off his left hip on 2nd down. He'll take the snap, gives it off inside to his running back. That's number 3, Ashton Jensen, who gets it out across the 10 to the 11-yard line. We're going to call this 3rd and 8.
And, going back to the end of the last half, a couple of Grizzlies did get ejected. We didn't quite hear who it was, but looking at this Grizzly offense, their key players are still there. So still not sure who it was, but Taylor is out there. Jensen's out there.
Would have been their defense, too, because it was Bedford had the ball.
But some of their players are running both ways, Taylor being one of them.
Williams in the slot. Taylor, the receiver to the near side, another receiver up top for Carradine, another high snap, going to give it off to Jensen, and he just bullies his way forward, but he only gains maybe a yard there. It's going to be 4th down, and there is an injured Grizzly on the field, and that might be Ashton Jensen. It is. He comes up under his own power, and now he'll trot off the field with his teammates, but it's 4th and 6. After Bedford's defense holds again, and the Mules stand to get good field position here as Chase Singley goes back to return this punt.
And, that's a couple high snaps on that drive for Ypsi, and it may not seem like much because they kept control of the ball.
Throws off the timing.
It throws off the timing, and that gives the Mules a little bit more time to get in the backfield.
Taylor to punt from his own 1-yard line. Good snap. There is a flag down now as Singley watches this bounce. He's going to let it roll dead at about the 48 of Bedford. So a decent punt there by Taylor, but let's check the penalty marker. Bevier downs it for the Grizzlies at the 48, and that's where Bedford takes over if there's
pending the penalty.
Pending this flag. A legal shift against the Grizzlies, and Phillips has opted to decline that. So 1st and 10 for the Mules as Luke Carver comes on the field to take the snaps for Bedford here in quarter number 3.
And, I know it's week 2, but some of these penalties against Ypsilanti, they should have been worked out at training camp, if not week 1 here. Some of their own issues are their own doing.
So 1st and 10 for the Mules at their own 48-yard line. 9:30 to play. Third quarter, Bedford 20, Ypsilanti 10. Luke Carver, the quarterback, with a 1 receiver to the top side of the formation on 1st down and 10. They'll bring a man in motion. They're going to take the snap, going to give it off inside. A little trouble with the exchange there between Carver and Hullebarger, and he'll lose a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
That's kind of a rough situation. They're struggling with the handoff here, but it was because they were making sure the ball was secure. They will take a 1-yard loss over losing the ball any day.
So 2nd and 11 for the Mules. They're off their own 47-yard line. 9:05 to play third quarter. Bedford 20, Ypsilanti 10. Luke Carver, the quarterback for the Mules, on second down as Bedford moves from left to right towards the east end zone. They'll bring a man in motion again. He takes the snap. Going to keep it himself on the option. That's a face mask that didn't get called, I believe.
Or at least a horse collar there. I couldn't be sure if it was a face mask, but he did get his hands in the pads at the very least.
But a loss of 3 more. 3rd and 14 for the Mules at the 45-yard line.
And this has got to be frustrating for Luke Carver, getting a chance to come out here, lead his team. And so far, this drive is just not going his way.
So 3rd down and 13 from the 45. 8:23 to go, third quarter. The Mules lead by 10. Bedford moving the wrong direction so far on this drive. Carver reaches under center. Bussell goes in motion. They'll pitch to Bussell, who looks for the edge. Bussell can't get the edge, and then he does. He gets back to about the original line of scrimmage at the 48. We'll call that a gain of 3 yards, but it's 4th and 10, and the Mules have to punt.
Yeah, Mules doing a little bit better reading the defense there. Ypsi showing very strong against the Bedford's right side there. Went out to the left, just couldn't get a big enough hole to get the first down. But, 13 yards to go. That's tough to pick up.
Taylor goes back to return the punt for the Grizzlies as Logan Hollebarger comes on to kick it away. Ball going to be spotted on the far hash. 7:37 to go, third quarter, as Bedford gets ready to punt on 4th and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Good snap back to Hollebarger. He'll put a foot into it. Nice end-over-end kick and a spiral out of bounds. Nope, they're going to down this inside the 10. So a nice punt there by Logan. And he'll back the Grizzlies up again. Great punt there. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies. Inside their own 10, they're going to spot this down at the 7-yard line.
Yep. So really, we're seeing a great punting game from Hollebarger. Plenty of hang time there, which really removed the option to return that one. So Ypsi kind of hoped for, a generous bounce. Didn't pan out that way. So now they've got tough field position.
So 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies from their own 7-yard line. 7:21 to play, third quarter. Bedford still leads this 20-10. Bedford's defense has been the story of the night. Both teams alternating quarterbacks. Now we're back to Taylor at quarterback for the Grizzlies. He'll have a running back off his right hip and one receiver each way. He'll take the snap. Going to keep it himself on the run is Taylor, and he'll get a nice block and will get out across the 10. I think Hollebarger gets the tackle. Nope, Gabe Johnson with the tackle. Gets out to about the 11. We'll call that a gain of 4 and a 5 at the 12. There's where they're actually going to spot that. So hard now because you can't see the ball's not there. You're kind of looking across the field now for a little orange marker.
Yeah, and that play there was drawn up to be a quarterback keeper as well. That wasn't
Absolutely.
a case where he had to scramble or anything. That was drawn up that way.
Design quarterback run has been about their best, has been one of their stronger plays tonight.
Yep, that and Jensen.
2nd down and 5 from the 12. 6:34 to play, third quarter. 20-10. Bedford's your score. Williams in the slot on the near side. Number 13, whose name is not on our roster, the receiver to the bottom of the formation. They'll take the snap. There's a flag on this play as Bevier gets brought down by a host of Mules as he gets out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. There is a flag in the backfield, though, and this is either going to be an illegal shift or some kind of procedure call against the Grizzlies, I believe.
Again, how do you have these sorts of errors at this point here? This sort of thing should have been sorted out really at JV level.
So they're going to mark this procedure call off against Ypsilanti. So that's going to be 2nd down again, but it's going to be 2nd down and long as they back 5 yards off here. It's going to be 2nd and 10. So back to the 7-yard line they go. 6:14 to play, third quarter. Bedford 20, Ypsilanti Community 10 as the Grizzlies move from right to left towards the west end zone, and they send 2 receivers to the near side, 1 up top for Chris Taylor, who's got a running back off his left hip on 2nd down and 10. He'll take the snap, drops to pass in the air. Pass incomplete, intended for Sir David Williams. It hit him right in the hands and he couldn't haul it in. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Brady Henderson there on the coverage, getting to the receiver at just the right time, adding that pressure, making it hard to come away with an incomplete pass.
So 3rd down and 10 for Ypsilanti at their own 7-yard line. 5:54 to play. Third quarter, the Mules lead is 10 points. It's 20-10. 2 receivers each way for Taylor, who sends his running back Bevier off his right hip now. He'll take the snap, drop to pass, straight drop. Now he's got to run away from pressure. He's still on his feet, going to be spun down at the 10-yard line that time by number 12, Brady Henderson, with a great defensive play. Nice open field tackle, brings up 4th down and 7.
Yeah, that's a situation there. You had Taylor in his own end zone with pressure coming. He really saved the day for his team there, even though it's 4th down. That could have been a whole lot uglier.
So Singley goes back to return the punt. Gabe Downs going to stand in his end zone to kick this ball away again. He's been back there quite a bit tonight. Can Bedford's offense capitalize on what looks to be excellent field position again?
Yeah, it looks like they'll get a ball with about 5 minutes left on the clock here. So plenty of time to work, and right now the clock is starting to be their friend.
Downs in the end zone, going to kick this ball away. It's a short punt. Going to go line drive out of bounds. Bedford will have the ball in plus territory at the 45-yard line. It was just it actually was a little bit longer of a punt than it looked like it was going to be. It was just a line drive.
Yeah, line drive there. That's why you bring your mitt to the game, because that went out to the sideline there, almost hit a Bedford coach there. Luckily, heads up on his end. Hate to see some sort of injury from that sort of play. So, yeah, bring your mitt to the game, kids.
So Carver stays in the game at quarterback for the Mules. Let's hope Luke has a little better luck here on drive number 2 as he sends a receiver each way on 1st and 10. Takes the snap, dives it off inside to Hollebarger, who fights through for a gain to about the 42.
It looks about that's where
they gain a 3.
Yeah, and that's the case where Hollebarger just kept churning those legs. He could have been down at the line of scrimmage, but he just had that extra push there to pick up the extra yards.
So 2nd down and 7 from the 42. 4:25 to go, third quarter. Bedford leads 20-10. Carver in at quarterback for the Mules. He'll send 2 receivers to the top side, 1 to the near side. The near side receiver is Joey Nagel. Carver reaches under center on 2nd down. Barks out his cadence, takes the snap. Going to keep it himself. Nope, hands it off inside again to Hollebarger. This time, Logan. I said Alec. There's been like 5 Hollebargers, okay?
Yeah.
So he gets down to the 40. Bevier gets the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Mules. 3rd and 5 from the 40 with 3:50 to go here in the third quarter.
And we are seeing that shift again in the Ypsilanti defense. Before they were bringing a lot of heat. Now they've got their linebackers kind of spying, watching where the run is going. Even if it's a 2-yard pickup, 2 yards 3 times in a row doesn't get you a 1st down.
Carver reaches under center on 3rd and 5. They show blitz from the Ypsilanti side. Takes the snap, going to keep it himself. Luke Carver with a nice run. He's still on his feet. He'll have 1st down yardage across the 35 to the 34-yard line, where he'll be met and dropped tackled by Fred Willis there for the Grizzlies, number 8. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Mules on a nice read by Luke Carver.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ypsi keeps sending heat because it doesn't pan out very well for them. They just need to limit Bedford to 2-3 yards, and it would have been a 4th down. I do not agree with that play call there by Ypsi. I'm not sure what they were thinking.
Carver read that well, read the blitz, and pulled the ball back out of Hollebarger's hands and kept it himself for a nice gain. He'll reach under center again on 1st and 10. He'll send Blissell in motion, takes the snap, gives it off to Hollebarger, who's met and dropped by Chris Taylor. There is a flag on this play. We're going to check the marker. I think this is going to go against Bedford.
I think it is. I think we're going to get some sort of a legal shift here.
Yep.
And yep.
Procedure call against the Mules, so now 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 15. They'll back this back to the 39-yard line, as it'll be 1st and 15 for the Mules.
2:55 as we go into third quarter.
Bedford pretty good with the laundry so far today, though. So, you hate to see that, but on average, not too bad of an evening in that regard.
2:45 to play third quarter, 20-10, Bedford your score. 1st and 15 for the Mules at the Ypsilanti 39. Nagel, the receiver, to the near side. Caden Weaver, the receiver, to the top side of the formation for for Luke Carver, rather, on first down. Carver looks to pass. Pass in the air. Pass complete to Hollabarger on the fullback pass there. Decent gainer, gets him up to about the 32. Call that a gain of 7. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, not looking for the deep pass there, just looking to get that little dump off, almost a halfback screen type play there. Gets a decent pickup for the Mules. Didn't really see that coming. They don't pass a lot.
That was effective, though.
But, if it works, it works.
So 2nd down and 7 now from the 32. 1:51 to play third quarter. The Mules with the ball moving left to right towards the east end zone. Carver reaches under center on 2nd down. Since Caden Foster in motion, takes the snap, gives it off inside. Ball came out, and they're calling him down. Nope, they're giving the ball to Ypsilanti on the fumble there. They're going to say the Grizzlies came up with the fumble, and Bedford turns it over again. That's the 3rd turnover tonight.
Yeah, 2 fumbles this evening, 1 interception. Really, these are sorts of things. Bedford was putting together a really good drive after stalling out a couple times. So things were looking good, but now that momentum is just gone. Question is, can the defense be as brilliant as they have been so far tonight?
I think Phillips was trying to argue that he thought the runner was down.
Yeah, I thought he was too, and I thought for sure that the officials were going to call it that way, but they didn't agree with me.
So 1st and 10 for Ypsilanti at their own 27, 1:34 to play third quarter. Bedford leads 20-10, but the Grizzlies have now taken the ball away from Bedford for the 3rd time tonight. Taylor stays in at quarterback, going to give it off inside to Jensen, who breaks free. Ashton Jensen dropped at the 49. He'll gain 22 yards on the play. And Carver gets the tackle from his safety position, and if he hadn't come away with that, he might still be running.
Yeah, Jensen, a 5'11", 215-pound.
That's a tough running.
Yeah, junior. And really, he's not doing a lot of – he's not a Barry Sanders type running back. He basically just lowers the shoulder. Yeah, he's more of the bus. He just kind of plows right forward, and the Mules just are not ready to meet that sort of force. He's very quick once he gets the ball, has that momentum, and he breaks tackles.
So 1:09 to play here in the third quarter. Bedford leads 20-10, but right now the Grizzlies seem to have the momentum. As they move the ball from right to left towards the west end zone, they'll have a 1st and 10 at their own 49. Taylor takes the snap, going to have to just fall on it. Low snap. They've had some snap issues tonight that have probably cost them some yardage. That one's going to cost them a loss of 3. Makes it 2nd and 13 as Becker gets the tackle for Bedford. Kyler Becker's had a good night for the Mules. It is 2nd down and 13 with 33 seconds to play here in the third quarter. The Mules lead 20-10. And no scoring so far here in the third quarter, and at this point you kind of hope it ends that way unless Bedford comes up with a turnover.
Yeah, right now it is becoming a clock situation here. This isn't a high-scoring powerhouse game. This is a game of feet, and Bedford right now needs to be loving that clock.
9 seconds remaining. Snap gets back to Taylor, who looks to pass. Pass in the air, incomplete, intended for Brandon Logwood. It'll be 3rd and 13 with 4 seconds remaining. And Chase Stingley with excellent coverage there kept that from being a pass that got caught.
Yeah, it was kind of overthrown too, so that would have been very hard for Logwood to bring in. So Mules may have also just dodged a bullet.
So 3rd down and 13 from the 46 of Ypsilanti. 4 seconds to play here in the third quarter. The Mules lead 20-10. Jensen, the running back, off of Taylor's right hip. Taylor going to keep it himself again on the designed quarterback run. He'll get out to about the 49. It's going to be 4th and 10, and that's the end of the third quarter, folks. We've played 36 minutes in Temperance, and at the end of the third quarter, your score, Bedford 20, Ypsilanti Community 10. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Mules.
look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother
and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Welcome back to Temperance. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there. Bedford gets the punt after Stingley fumbled it. Carver with the ball as Bedford took over at their own 11. Carver's going to get out to about the 18. Call that a gain of 6 or 7 there on first down on a nice play there by Carver. And Esters gets the tackle for Ypsilanti Community as we start the fourth quarter. Bedford leads at 20-10.
And this is the situation here. That last quarter, very uneventful. Bedford maintaining this 10-point lead since the end of the first half. Right now, you got to think that they're content with just letting the clock roll as much as they can.
11-12 to go in the fourth quarter. Bedford's lead is 20-10. Carver in it, quarterback for the Mules, on second down and 3 from the 18. He'll take the snap, going to pitch it back to to Boycell, and that's going to be a procedure penalty against Bedford. And you talked about Ypsilanti with the penalties that were biting them in the butt, and that one happened. Now it's happened into Bedford.
Yeah, I think I jinxed them. So my apologies to all the Mules fans out there, as this is going to be marched back a little bit more, putting Bedford in a tough second down position.
2nd and 8 from the 13. Bedford 20. It's 11:01 to play, fourth quarter, and the Mules with the football, moving from right to left towards the west end zone. Carver reaches under center for the Mules on second down. He'll take the snap. Gonna give it off inside to Hollebarger, still on his feet as he gets out to about the 20. Call that a gain of 7. It's gonna be 3rd and 1 after a nice strong run there by Logan Hollebarger, just turning those legs and keeping the pile pushing forward. Jensen gets the tackle for the Grizzlies. It's 3rd and 1 from the 20, and this is a big third down.
This is, as we said, right now Bedford with a 10-point lead, 10-14 on the clock and rolling. If Bedford needs to keep this drive alive to keep chipping away at that clock.
Carver reaches under center for the Mules on 3rd and a yard. They send Foster in motion. Takes the snap. And I don't think he got it.
No, he was met right at the line.
Hollebarger with a fullback give there. No gain on this play. And I think you're going to see Hollebarger punt this ball away. And I think this is a smart call.
Yeah, you don't want to play games this deep, especially after that play right there, met in the line of scrimmage, no gain. You can't have a repeat of that with the ball on your own 20.
Well, Hullebarger goes back to punt now for Bedford. 9:25 to play, fourth quarter. And let's see how far Logan can kick this ball. Good snap gets back to him. He'll put a foot into it, and this is a line drive kick too, but this is going to be a huge Bedford bounce. And it's going to be down inside the 40 at the 39. So a decent punt there by Logan Hullebarger, who's been a weapon from that punter position tonight.
Yeah, special teams matters. They don't get a lot of attention, but they matter. In this situation, you've got that deep punt. Earlier on in the game, you had the blocked field goal. Special teams, we've been talking about the defense, but Bedford special teams also coming up big. It's just getting that offense going again. They've stalled out a couple times, and it's just been very frustrating, I'm sure, for Coach Phillips.
9:10 to go. 20-10 Bedford, your score. 1st and 10 for Ypsilanti at their own 39-yard line. Carradine back in at quarterback, 2 receivers each way. Jensen, the running back, in the backfield off the left hip of his quarterback. 1st and 10, high snap goes over his head that time. Carradine tried to scoop it up and run with it, and in the end lost probably a couple more yards as a result. All the way back to the 22, so loss of 17 on that play. This is going to be 2nd down and 27.
Yeah, those high snaps, those low snaps are really something that is killing Ypsilanti. And it's not like they really change up their position. They have the quarterback deep in the shotgun style position. So it's not like they were doing, more of that closer situation. They should be used to this. They should have that automatic at this point.
8:31 remaining in the ball game. Bedford leads 20-10. 2nd and 27 for Ypsilanti from their own 22. Carradine, the quarterback, gets a better snap this time. Pressure comes, ball in the air. That's an offset. Oh, wow. Carver with excellent coverage. That could have probably been called offensive pass interference. They didn't call it, but Carver able to knock the ball down, and he was being pulled on all the way down. The receiver almost tackled him, but it's going to be 3rd and 27.
Yeah, the receiver there covering Carver like you wouldn't believe.
You would have thought that Carver was the receiver in the...
Yeah, the way that was played out, except for the fact that, Carver was closer to the ball. Just a situation there, that could have easily been offensive pass interference.
3rd and 27 for Ypsilanti from their own 22. 2 receivers to the near side. Willis and Logwood, the receivers to the near side. Carradine, another high snap. Blitz comes. Logwood, the intended receiver, as Brady Henderson breaks it up, and it's 4th and 27.
Henderson stumbled a little bit. Okay, it looks like he's all right. For a moment there, I thought he was going down. He's been a great asset for this Bedford defense here, and you hope he's staying healthy.
Well, this Bedford defense, if Bedford holds on to win this game tonight, it's because of the defense.
Oh, yeah. The offense really getting a helping hand here in this situation here. There's some things they're going to have to work out before next week.
Yeah, Bedford just, like I said, came out like gangbusters there, and Ypsilanti made some defensive adjustments, and Bedford hasn't been able to adjust to the adjustments. And it's been a struggle since the end of the first quarter. Chase Singley returns this punt for Bedford, gets around the corner. He's at the 40. He's at the 35. He's at the 30. And he'll be brought down inside the 30 at about the 27 maybe the 26 even.
I think.
So an excellent punt return by Chase Singley. And Bedford has terrific field position to start this drive. And a score here would pretty much put the game away. So can Bedford find the offensive momentum to get back in the end zone?
And, after that last play, I mentioned Henderson looked like he was stumbling off the field. He is being attended to by a trainer right now.
A cramp.
Yeah, looks like it might be a cramp muscle in the leg. Hopefully they can get that worked out, and he's good to go for the next defensive set.
So Carver, the quarterback for the Mules. 2 receivers to the top side of the formation, 1 to the near side on 1st down and 10 from the Ypsilanti 27. Carver takes the snap, gives it off inside to Logan Hullebarger. Gets a good block from Nagel, and he's gone. Touchdown, Logan Hullebarger. Touchdown, Bedford Kicking Mules from 27 yards out. And the Mules hit the scoreboard again, and it is 26-0 pending the, 26-10 pending the extra point.
Yeah, and that was a bit of a different run for Hollebarger. Normally he's just pounding through, churning the legs. There he was very patient, waited for the defense to make the move, so he knew whether to break left or right. Ended up getting around about 2 Grizzlies there and getting in for the 6 points.
So 26-10 Bedford your score as Deegan Garcia comes on to attempt the extra point. Henderson to hold. Nasala to snap it back. The kick is up, and it's good with 7:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. Your score, Bedford 27, Ypsilanti Community 10. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Kicking Mules.
You see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. But I need that back. No. Kevin!
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
Welcome back to Groganstown Field at Bedford Community Stadium as the Mules get ready to kick this ball away. Deegan Garcia with a squib. Going to be fielded by number 8, Fred Willis, who takes it out across the 30 to the 34, and that's where Ypsilanti takes over 1st and 10. There is an injured Grizzly on the field.
Looks like Willis there, just a little slow getting up here. No, now he's stumbling, and yeah, he's going to need a little help there. He's hurting.
And you hate to see that, but this is one of those nights where it was in the mid 80s here today, and as the sun has gone down and it's cooled off considerably out there, and that causes these cramps and hydration problems, and hopefully that's all this is.
Yeah, it's been a weird day weather-wise, and compared to last week, it's definitely warmer. So you like to see that there. But again, it was kind of in the 80s today. It's now down to 65. So there has been quite a bit of cooling as the day has gone through. As Willis is still being attended to here down about his own 30-yard line. Trainers have come out. You got to be sure you're staying hydrated. You got to be sure you're getting enough oxygen in this situation here. Hopefully it's nothing major. And really just the first time we've called his name all night. So you hope he's okay and can keep playing.
Back when I lived down south.
Here we go.
When they cramped in a game like this, somebody would pull a jar of pickle juice out of a cooler, and that was always a pretty successful home remedy to take care of the cramps. But that was before. Well, not really, but Gatorade pretty much has replaced that. We just had a really old school trainer.
You know what? Sometimes old school works pretty well.
It was kind of like not quite like the Water Boy, no Cajuns in South Carolina, but although Dan will tell you that I wasn't necessarily easy to understand when I first moved here.
Oh, no, I basically needed an interpreter. I called the UN, but they didn't have a Southern interpreter.
It wasn't that they couldn't understand me. It was just they couldn't understand me. we needed like a Southern New Michigan dictionary, and unfortunately that didn't exist. So, Mike Murphy basically told me he wasn't putting me on the air until I learned how to talk. So,
and look at you today.
I don't know if it got much better, but we're giving it our best shot.
It has. I know when you go down south and visit relatives, because you come back, I'm like, oh, there's old Dustin.
So Bedford's going to come back out now on the defensive side of the ball. 1st and 10 for Ypsilanti at their own 34 with 7:49 to play. The score is now 27-10 Bedford.
Yeah, 7:49 on the clock. It's not over. There's definitely still an opportunity here for Ypsi, but that door is starting to close big time.
Charles Atticus Carradine, the quarterback for the Grizzlies. He's got Ashton Jensen off his left hip. He'll bring a man in motion. That's Sir David Williams. They'll pitch to Williams on the fly sweep there. A nice play for Williams, still on his feet, but he trips and falls out of bounds, basically on his own there as he gets across midfield, I believe, where they're going to spot him out. No, actually they're going to say he stepped out of bounds. He did get first down yardage, but he only got up to about the 44 of Ypsilanti. So call that a gain of 17 yards. Move the chains for a Grizzly first down.
And that was kind of an interesting play there. High snap, and as they came down with it, that's where the handoff took place there. So not sure if it was drawn up that way, but it worked out pretty well for him.
Carradine with another snap issue. That's a Bevier on the carry there. He'll get out across the 45 to the 46. Connor Becker, number 30, tripped him up as he tried to get around the corner, and it'll be second down, 2nd and 8 after the gain of 2. Got one official standing at the 40.
Yeah, one at the 45
and one at the 46.
Yeah.
And they spot the ball at the 46. Carradine with another high snap. Pressure comes. Ball in the air. Pass incomplete. Intended for Sir David Williams, number 4. The coverage there by Brendan Hammer. And Brendan laid the hammer and made sure that Williams wasn't going to return that or wasn't going to come down with it. Williams is listed at 5'9", and that looks maybe a little generous.
Yeah, I'm 5'9", and I feel like I'm a little bit taller than he would.
And I'm 5'6" on a good day, so, that's a short, it takes one to know one, right?
Yeah, and Williams there going off to the sideline there after that big hit.
He got his clock cleaned there by Brendan Hammer. 3rd and 8 from the 46 for the Grizzlies. They'll take the snap to give it off inside to Bevier, who gets out across the 46 to the 47. He gained a yard. It's going to be Joel Rand with the tackle for the Mules. It is 4th and 7 from the 47 with 6:41 to go here in the ball game. And they pretty much have to go for this, I would think.
Yeah, the clock is rolling. They're down 3 scores. You really don't have a choice here in this situation. It's not terrible field position if you fail, but you have to go for it at this point.
And now the Grizzlies are going to call timeout and talk about it. Folks, there are 6 minutes and 26 seconds remaining here in the ballgame. Bedford leads 27-10. It is 4th and 7, and Ypsilanti going to discuss this one on the sideline.
And Dustin, while we're in this timeout here, if one was looking to buy a house in Ohio, who should they call?
That would be me. And in another week or two, I'm actually going to be licensed in Michigan. I know that you won't recommend me to anybody in Michigan, although your brother-in-law and your sister are also licensed in Ohio, are they not?
They do the whole gambit, but we're here to talk about you for a hot second.
True, and I will say Aaron and Melanie are awesome. But there's also enough real estate business to go around.
Especially in this market, it is very much a seller's market.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's really, but it's also a great time to buy if you can find the right house.
Mm-hmm.
Interest rates are historically low right now. We're seeing interest rates as low as 2.5%. So
not bad.
If you can pick up a loan right now, if you can find the house you want, now's a great time to buy. If you're interested, give me a call, 419-705-8529. And we sell the 419.com is our website, so check us out. We're the Studer Select team from Danbury. 4th down and 7 from the 47 for Ypsilanti. Carradine takes the snap, drops straight back to pass. Pressure comes. That's going to be almost intercepted as Carradine takes a shot there from number 43 for the Mules, Gabe Johnson, who came untouched through that line. And they'll turn it over on downs, and the Mules take over 1st and 10 from the 47 of Ypsilanti.
Yeah, somebody needed to pick him up there, but Gabe Johnson, nobody in his way. Straight shot to the QB. I'm surprised that was, and he didn't even come from the line. He came off from the left side of the quarterback. So great defense once again for Bedford.
So Carver stays in at quarterback for the Mules. 6:20 to go. 1st and 10 Bedford at the Ypsilanti 47. Bedford leads 27-10.
I'm going to have to tweet at Phillips and find out what the story is with QB here. Carver in all this second half. We saw Henderson in the first.
Weaver, the receiver, to the near side. They're going to pitch it on the sweep there to Bussell, who's going to get up to about the 41. Call it a gain of 6 there for Randy Bussell. and it'll be 2nd down and 3.
I'm doing it. I'm tweeting at Phillips. I know he's not going to respond for this game, but understanding it, for the next time we're on air, just kind of good backstory.
Well, I knew just from talking to Chris Wilhelm that both quarterbacks were still going to play. They haven't really made a decision. Neither quarterback has really separated himself enough to be really the full-time starter. So they're letting them play it out and compete it out. Weaver, the receiver to the near side of the formation on 2nd and 4 from the 41 as Luke Carver reaches under center and he sends Caden Foster in motion. Carver takes the snap, gives it off inside. Hullebarger, the ball carrier, gets down to about the 38. Call that a gain of about 3. It's going to be 3rd down and, call it a gain of 2, really. 3rd and 2 from the 39. And there's another injured Grizzly on the field. And I will say that particular thing has been definitely harder on Ypsilanti tonight than it has been on the Mules.
Yeah, I mean, some of the situations there, we saw a big block leveled against a Grizzly. That made sense there. We saw Taylor having trouble keeping his lunch down. Just some things that it's very frustrating to see. You really hope the athletes are taking care of themselves, making sure they stay injury-free. And especially at this situation here, you still got a lot of season ahead of you. This one, it's going to be tough for the Grizzly to crawl back, and that's probably my first and only bear pun of the day. I mean, I had a bunch lined up. I just never was able to break them out. The situation never arose. So there's my one Grizzly pun. It's going to be tough for them to get back into this one. 5:19 left on the clock. The Mules up by 17 here. Mules have the ball and basically are – they're steering the ship right now. They have the ball. They can run the clock down as much as they can. Grizzlies with 2 timeouts left. Bedford with all 3. So really the clock is in the hands of the Mules tonight.
So
and that was
Jensen, the stud running back for the Ypsilanti Grizzlies, was the injured player there. Do you have a couple final scores I want to share with you? Skyline beats Pioneer tonight by a final of 23-7. And Bedford gets ready to play Skyline next Friday night.
Up in Ann Arbor.
5:19 to go here in the ballgame. Bedford leads at 27-10. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Mules at the 39 of Ypsilanti Community. And the officials are going to stop play again here. And they're talking about spot maybe?
It seems there because you see the down marker up around
they got to move the ball up to the 41.
Yeah, and the ball's currently at the 39-ish.
No, it's at the 41, and you moved down to the 39.
I'm sorry, I got that backwards. I was looking at one, thinking of the other. So
now
they're going to chat.
Stripes are consulting. Because, I mean, this is the difference between 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 4, basically.
Yes, this is a big situation here. I don't know if it's all volunteer chain gang here, and I'm not sure if somebody just kind of lost track of, where they were with Jensen down.
Nope, they're going to move it back.
Looks like, they are going to move it back to the 41.
So 3rd and 4 from the 41. 5:17 to play as Luke Carver reaches under center. Bassell goes in motion. They take the snap. They give it off inside to Hullebarger. Gets down to about the 36, and that'll move the chains to a Bedford first down on the gain of 5 yards for Logan Hullebarger. 1st and 10 Mules. Esters with the tackle for the Grizzlies as we get ready to roll under 5 minutes.
And again, the Mules, this is where their really strong run offense comes into play here. You don't have incomplete passes which stop the clock. It just keeps this moving here. And to be frank, I wouldn't be surprised if Bedford burns up pretty much the remainder of this quarter on this drive.
Well, the other thing is Bedford certainly seems to have the team in better condition.
Yep.
Foster goes in motion. They'll pitch to Foster, who gets around the corner. Caden Foster breaks free. He's inside the 20 and brought down at about maybe the 15-yard line. They're going to mark him out at the 16.
Yeah.
Gain of 20 yards for Caden Foster and move the chains for a Bedford first down on the nice jet sweep around the right side there, and Caden Foster did the rest of the running.
Right after I say Bedford's going to kind of slowly work their way down the field here, but hey, they'll gladly leave 4:22 on the clock if they can get another touchdown.
1st and 10 for the Mules at the 16 of Ypsilanti. 4:15 to play. The Mules lead 27-10. Braden Brewer, the receiver to the near side of the formation, for Luke Carver on first down. Carver takes the snap, going to keep it himself, breaks free with Carver at the 10, at the 5, in the house. Touchdown, Bedford Kicking Mules. Touchdown, Luke Carver from 16 yards out, and it is 33-10 with the extra point pending.
Yeah, like I said, Bedford will leave that much time on the clock, trading off another touchdown here, putting them up by 23 with possibly 24 points here. This game is pretty much over for the Grizzlies, and that's rather grisly for them. I got a second one in. I'm feeling better.
Deegan Garcia puts a foot into the extra point, and it is up and no good. With 3:57 remaining in the ballgame, Bedford 33, Ypsilanti Community 10. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Kicking Mules.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess. I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
And Deegan Garcia gets ready to kick the ball away for Bedford. Willis and Williams go back deep for the Grizzlies. The squib kick fielded by one of the up men, number 29 for Ypsilanti Community, Michael Smith, and he will down that football at the 38-yard line, 37-yard line, rather. 1st and 10 from the Grizzlies 37 with 3:55 to play.
On our roster here, Michael Smith, his height is being listed as the 8th of May. I'm guessing that's 5'8", and it just got formatted weird, but
that's my birthday.
I just looked at that. I'm like, how tall is he? The 8th of May?
I'm surprised I didn't notice that because that is my birthday. 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies from their own 37-yard line. 3:55 to play. Bedford leads 33-10. And the Mules wrestled the momentum back here in the 4th quarter. Carradine in the shotgun, takes the snap, drops straight back to pass. Pressure comes. Pass complete. Nice catch there by third David Williams, who gets out across the 45. Hammer comes away with the tackle. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies. They're going to stop this ball right at midfield.
Yeah, Bedford kind of in a zone defense there, and Williams just completely uncovered. No pressure really on the QB, was able to execute that pass to perfection.
So 1st and 10 from midfield, 3:35 to play. High snap gets back to Carradine. Pressure comes. Ball in the air. Incomplete. Intended for Williams again. Hammer with the coverage. There is a flag on the play. This looks like it would be back in the area where you might call a hold.
No, that's what I'm thinking here. Which, if it is, that is going to back the Grizzlies up significantly. And really, they don't have time for that sort of thing. Ain't nobody got time for that.
So 3:29 remaining here in the ball game. Bedford leads at 33-10. The Grizzlies with the football at midfield. There is a flag on the field that's going to be illegal hands to the face. Personal foul. Against Bedford. Yep. So they're going to march that 15-yard penalty off, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies at the Bedford 35. And Bedford has made their share of mistakes tonight.
Yeah, again, I jinxed them. They were doing so great in the first half, going into the 3rd quarter, and now just really kind of silly mistakes they shouldn't be making.
Carradine in the shotgun, 2 receivers each way, a running back hands it off to Jensen, and you can't arm tackle Ashton Jensen, folks, and he is going to have another first down inside the 25 to the 24. Call it a gain of 11 yards, and it is a first down for Ypsilanti.
Yeah, with a running back like Jensen, you can't, as you said, you can't arm tackle him. It needs to be force on force. You need to meet him head on and really just lean into him.
Yep. You got to wrap him up around the legs and drive him back because you're not going to tackle him with your arms. High snap. They're going to hand it off inside to Jensen again, and that time they do go for his leg. They get him down at the 20. He's going to gain about 4 yards. Tyler Kuzno with the tackle for the Mules. 2:51 to play. Bedford leads at 33-10. Two receivers each way for Carradine, with Jensen off his left hip as the Grizzlies move from left to right towards the east end zone. Ball in the air, pass intercepted, I believe. Yep. Is that Carver? Tyler Conrad, number 6, with the interception.
We're going the other way.
And Bedford gets another turnover, and man alive, the Bedford defense has been opportunistic tonight.
I mean, at this point, yeah, it's on their own 2-yard line, but 2:33 left in the game. I mean, put this in the refrigerator. There's nothing but the leftovers.
Well, you'd hate to see something like that blow up in your face, so we're going to leave that one to ruminate for a couple of minutes here.
23 points, 2:33 on the clock.
Wow, that's the time left.
I mean,
and they're getting the ball at the 1-yard line, so I would not. I wouldn't start counting my chickens just yet.
You know, they play the whole game for a reason here. But
that is correct.
It's going to be really tough for Ypsilanti to come back at this point.
So 2:33 remaining in the ball game. Bedford with a 1st and 10 from their own 1. Luke Carver, the quarterback, has been in the game the whole second half for the Mules. One receiver each way for Carver, and John Phillips calls a timeout. And Wilhelm doesn't like where his receivers at on the field, so the Mules are going to call time. That is their first time out of the half. They have 2 remaining with 2:33 left to go.
Yeah, basically in a situation like this, given that Ypsilanti has pushed Bedford back a couple times here, you want to make sure everybody is lined up properly. You are on your own goal line practically on the 1-yard line. You don't want to give up 2 points on the ball here.
Absolutely. I mean, you certainly don't want to give Ypsilanti the opportunity. You want to keep the door. Right now you have the door closed. You want to keep it closed.
Got to deadbolt it still.
So, I mean, there's 2:33 left, so unlikely but not impossible, right?
I mean, we've seen stranger things in the history of Bedford football.
So let's see. Well, I mean, probably one of the strangest things I've ever seen. I don't know if you'll remember this or not. Bedford was playing St. Francis. The snap went over the punter's head, but he went back to kick it for St. Francis, and Bedford returned it. A 0-yard punt return for a touchdown because they caught it in the end zone.
Yeah, between that and the Fog Bowl.
The Fog Bowl might be number 1. Carver reaches under center for the Mules on 1st and 10 from the Bedford 1. Takes a snap, pitches it back, gets back across the goal line, and
across the 5, maybe to the 6 there with stretching there to get the ball every inch down the field that they could.
Bassell with the run there for the Mules. 2:15 to go. 2nd down and 5 for Bedford at the 6-yard line as Bassell was wrapped up and got free. And it is now 2nd and 5 for Bedford as we get ready to roll under 2 minutes left. The Mules look to improve to 2-0 on the season. Ypsilanti, if this score holds, would drop to 0-2. The good news for the Grizzlies is they've played probably the hardest 2 games of their schedule.
Yeah, things just get better for them going forward.
Foster in motion for the Mules. Hullebarger on the inside give, gets across the 6 to maybe the 7-yard line. He'll gain a yard or 2. Esters with the tackle, gain of a yard. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 with 1:29 to go. Ypsilanti does still have 2 timeouts remaining, and if they can stop Bedford on 3rd down, they may use one.
Yeah, again, though, it's going to be really tough for them to get back into this here. By the end of this play, it's going to be around 1 minute left on the clock.
it'll probably be under a minute left at this point. 3rd and 4 for the Mules at their own 7. Phillips is going to call timeout. Nope. They do pitch it out. This is going to be Cassell on the run, stiff-arming people, and he'll have first down yardage. And the Mules get a huge first down out across the 20, and that's going to just about wrap things up here with 50 seconds to go. And I think you may see John Phillips in with a victory formation for the Mules.
Yeah, they might run one more to see if Ypsi is going to stop the clock here. But if they run one here and the clock isn't stopped, of course, looking over at their coach's box, they're packing up. So, yeah, this game's pretty much done.
This is victory formation for the Mules. And Bedford is going to come out victorious tonight. It was not always pretty. Bedford found a way to get it done. Offense, defense, and special teams all played a part in a very good team win for the Mules. And Bedford's going to move to 2-0 on the young season. Going to play the Skyline Eagles in Ann Arbor next week as the Mules look to continue to gain momentum as they head towards that matchup with Saline 2 weeks from tonight. Folks, we will not be on the air for the next 2 weeks as the Mules go on the road. We will be back on the air 3 weeks from tonight as the Mules host the Monroe Trojans in the battle for the Golden Cleat.
And, as the clock winds down here with Bedford getting the win, there were some things, happy for the win. The Mules, I'm sure they are, because I sound like Soda there for some reason. But there were a few things that they needed to get squared away before they face a team like Skyline, like Saline. Some of those missteps as far as penalties are concerned that they had later in the second half. Some of the play execution, that offense really struggled. It seemed like if they had their number for a while, and if it wasn't for the defense, this would have been a very, very different game.
Folks, we played 48 minutes in Temperance, and the final score tonight, Bedford 33, Ypsilanti Community 10. We'll be back in 3 minutes with tonight's postgame show. You're listening to Bedford Varsity Football on the home of the Kicking Mules.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Sometimes we can do things that exclude others.
You still talking to your friends?
It's complicated.
I think he went back in. We gotta go get him.
Welcome to Jumanji.
Even the smallest words and actions can have a big effect on someone. You have the skills. Because of you, someone's entire day, their year, or their life can change.
Remember, the future is in your hands.
Visit becauseofyou.org to learn more.
Totally, let's do it.
Welcome to the Bedford Varsity Football Postgame Show presented by Kicking Mule Productions and the Studer Select team of Danbury Realtors. Let's head out to the press box for a recap of tonight's game.
As the Bedford Kicking Mules come out victorious tonight by a final score of 33-10. And Dan Ross, it was not always pretty. It wasn't always a done deal, but Bedford grappled the momentum back in the fourth quarter and ended up winning the game, sort of running away.
Yeah, as far as the business of the evening is concerned, Bedford definitely took care of business, getting that big win, really getting that early lead, really set the momentum, set the tone, and then did defense just really being the story of the game here. Offense did struggle a little bit there. They had a couple times where it just looks like they couldn't get anything going there. It looked like Ypsi had their number, but the defense came up for those shortcomings.
You know, I will say the one thing that I want to say about Bedford's performance tonight, this sort of reminded me more of a week one, of your typical week one performance. Last week,
let's be honest.
I mean, we can kind of, we got the win, it counts and all of that, but
let's be honest.
We didn't really play our first game until tonight. Last week was more of what we would call a glorified scrimmage, for lack of a better phrase. And certainly the opposition level went way up tonight.
Yes.
And the Mules had a more worthy opponent in Ypsilanti. And Bedford came out with a 33-10 win. Bedford next week goes to Ann Arbor to play the Skyline Eagles. Can the Mules continue this momentum as they get ready to play in Saline 2 weeks from tonight for what, for all intents and purposes, looks like it might be the SEC Red Crown?
Could very well be here, and there are going to be things that Philip is going to look at the game film from tonight and find those areas. Let's be frank here. Skyline had a win tonight
against Pioneer.
So that's, not a cupcake game. Saline is always a powerhouse. There are some mistakes that happen tonight that cannot happen against a opponent such as Saline or Skyline.
I mean, Bedford with a lot of penalties tonight, the 3 turnovers, I'm sure they're going to go back and look at the film. The interception, the kid from Ypsilanti, number 10, Taylor, just made a great play.
Yeah.
Let's just call that what it is. That wasn't a bad throw by Henderson at all.
That's one I'm kind of just like, just putting an asterisk on it.
That one you can live with. The 2 fumbles are really the ones that are going to kind of bother you and kind of catch in your crawl as you move forward. Bedford needs to clean that up. They also need to clean up lots of procedure penalties.
Yep.
Some of the stuff that happened, like the block penalty over on the far sideline where the crackback block, some of that stuff just happens in the heat of a play.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always avoid those things. The procedure penalties, the false start, the illegal shifts, the not enough people on the field, those are the things that are going to drive a coaching staff crazy. I know I heard Chris Wilhelm talk a couple times tonight how the receivers weren't split out far enough. Those are things that they're going to go back and point to on film and in practice, and they're going to get these kids ready to go against Skyline next week, and should be a tough ball game on the road. I don't think the Ann Arbor schools are allowing any fans. So I don't think any parents or anybody are going to be making their way to Skyline next week. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. But the Mules do find a way to win tonight by a final score of 33-10.
Yeah, and it will be interesting. And I will say this about tonight. Last week, what little crowd we had here, very quiet. It seemed like they were a bit more lively here. So
better weather,
I'm sure, helped out. But just having the crowd behind you, hearing the cheers of the crowd, As an athlete, I mean, I ran track, so our crowds were tiny. But anytime you would get that, that was just kind of a nice little motivator. So I'm sure the Mules appreciated, having a bit more lively crowd tonight here. And when we're back facing Monroe, that's when they're really going to want to be able to hear that home crowd here. And it may be a different situation here, as we're hearing there are changes coming from the state.
Yeah, they haven't announced exactly what that's going to look like here at Bedford, but Governor Whitmer signing a different executive order today that is going to open the stadium up to, let me emphasize this, some more fans.
Yes.
It's certainly not going to be like a normal year where they're just going to throw it back open to everybody. But stay tuned, as they will be announcing some changes to the attendance policy here at Bedford Community Stadium as we move forward.
Yeah, we'll have to hear things from the MHSAA, then Athletic Director Mark Garman, who, by the way, thanks to him and all he does to help us do these broadcasts, he'll take that information, try to find some sort of equitable and fair process for opening those extra seats.
And hopefully, I just want to say, I hope that some of the extra seats do get opened up to students.
Yes.
It'd be great if you could have a lottery for your seniors to be able to come and experience a couple of Friday nights. They're certainly not going to be able to get the whole senior class in here, but let's say you did a lottery and you get 100 seniors in here, then you've got 2 games. If you go to the first one, you can't enter the lottery for the second one to improve the other kids' chances, and just give these kids an opportunity to come out and support their team, support their classmates. And for goodness sake, get the band back out here. Put some temporary bleachers in the end zone. Let the band be out here.
Yeah, at least a subsection of the band. We are doing the fight song here. But
that band.
Let's be honest. They're streaming it off YouTube to be able to do the fight
song.
Notre
Dame fight song.
Yeah, so it's not the same as having that section of students over there leading the whole stadium in the fight song. But, looking at the crowd we've had here, if we're just, being pragmatic, by and large, the parents are taking up the section that's right in front of the press box, if you're familiar. The far ends are completely empty. The visitor side is 99.9% empty.
It may not be for the Monroe game, though.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit different. Again, we'll see what the whole MHSAA decides after this executive order from the governor, and then see how Coach Garman handles that. So be paying attention to social media and the various local news sources. I'm sure they'll have information as we get closer to the Monroe game.
So we do have a couple of people to thank. We obviously want to thank Joe Kuchar, our executive producer, flying the plane back at Mission Control. We also want to thank Mark Garman, John Phillips, the administration here at Bedford High School, for having us back this year to do these broadcasts. We want to thank you, our listeners out there, for making us a part of your Friday night. I heard that there were like 40 of you that tuned in tonight. You had the option to watch live, so we do appreciate you doing that and sticking with us. We are your home team. We want to thank all of you for tuning in. For Dan Roth, Joe Kuchar, my name is Dustin Kress. We will see you back here in 3 weeks as Bedford takes on the Monroe Trojans 3 weeks from tonight. Have a great night, everybody. God bless.
Bedford Varsity Football is a production of Kicking Mule Productions and is solely responsible for its content. No portion of tonight's game may be rebroadcast without the prior written consent of Kicking Mule Productions and Bedford Public Schools. Announcers for tonight's game were chosen in conjunction with Bedford Public Schools, and portions of this program have been pre-recorded. Speaking for Dustin Kress and everyone involved in tonight's broadcast, this is executive producer Joe Kuchar inviting you to check out our website, kickingmule.live, for our latest broadcast schedule. This is Bedford Varsity Football, presented by Kicking Mule Productions and the Studio Select team of Danbury Realtors.